Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games and episode 61. My God. Last episode, we said goodbye to Rodrigo. and Aiden Canelm, our blood hunter, taking one of our NPCs, Olivia Storm, along with him. And we wish Rodrigo all the best and all the happiness over in Australia. And I don't think he's quite left yet, but making all the final preparations and the final goodbyes. And hopefully he'll be stopping by to maybe watch this if he's free. Might be worth actually one of you guys pinging him on Discord. So, life goes on for the rest of the party. Love is in the air, or at least Sahastra. They love festival. And where we left off, a very happy Farewell and Cora were escaping their mischief managed, as they had managed to douse all the other members of the party, apart from one, with the glitter powder that is given out during Sahastra. Now with Aiden stepping through into the Duskhold and travelling the plains with the rest of the Canelm clan, and a very annoyed Kitty, Eclipse of the Moon, chasing our cleric and our warlock through the city, we're going to start off by focusing on Glory Tezcacotl, who, throughout all the manicness, has slipped down some alleyways and out back into the city. If you remember, one of the recipients of the letter with a wooden token carved, and this one was beautiful. It had a crown, and I think it was a hand on the token.
Heart. Heart with a crown.
A heart with a crown. Thank you, Felicia. Was given to Glory, and Glory is going to try to attempt to find out who sent it to her. The letter itself contained a clue, and now Glory is going to go into the city and see if she can pursue a blessed love, blessed by the moon goddess herself. We'll continue with the rest of the day in Ostergard and carry on with whatever downtimes need to be done before they go on to the next chapter. So, let's get started with episode 61 of The Benefactor.
Hello.
And welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, 4 players left. You're all
I know he didn't live to Australia. He killed him. Save him.
I'm next.
Nah, you're last. It's never you first. That's too obvious.
Yeah.
It depends what the kitty gets herself into.
Yeah.
So, as we come back into the session, Farewell and Cora are running through the streets of Freetown and getting
Being chased by a very angry cat.
Yep, and living signposts are looking behind Cora and Farewell and going, "She's on that building. She's over there. She's on that side of you." Giving you whatever advantage you can get. They are also throwing up glitter, and some of them are using illusions and things like that to really test you, Eclipse. At one point, you try to jump on a shop sign that isn't there. You fall straight through the shop sign, and there's this little giggle.
I was gonna say, Simon, it's dim light now.
Dim light?
Yes.
She basically,
It's-
Is she still a
turned
rainbow
into a
though?
bat.
Isn't she sunlight
You're
still?
a glowing rainbow.
Yeah, you're still glowing.
Yeah, but it's not the light spell. I'm still
just-
in dim light.
I realised the relevance of this. I'm bad cat. But yeah, the
I'm back at.
so this is basically a bit of a segue between you guys and Glory, as you fall through a shop sign, and I presume instead of making an attempt to grab hold of the building, you just suddenly transform into a bat and continue your pursuit.
We'll grab the edges off the cloak and start flying. I don't even need to turn and fly with the...
Okay. The little girl who used the minor illusion, this little forest gnome girl, laughs as you plummet through the sign, and then watches as you grab hold of the cloak, soar into the air after them, and goes, "Cool!" and watches as you guys go past, and the chase continues. Glory. You walk up to the gates, and with a nod to one of the guards, the guard opens the door, and you step inside. The guards themselves have a standard uniform, but they're provided by all factions of the city. Ironically, even the Thieves Guild. And as you go past, you notice the one that nodded to you puts their hand at their hip, highlighting the badge at their hip, and you notice that it's the member of the Green Organization that actually let you in. And as you walk in, because this member of the Green Organization doesn't know why you're coming into the city or why you left the city, just mutters to you, "Nothing new to report," as you go past. And you carry on walking into the city. People are playing tricks. There are people kind of running around with the dust. But now that you're inside the city, you're outside of Farewell's preparations and sphere of influence. So you're feeling fairly safe to walk down the street. And there are lovers, couples, sometimes more, running through the street hand in hand, trying to get away from family members, friends who are taking part of the game. You can see that there are some people who are reaching their destination. They can be not necessarily going to private places outside, although traditionally it's running off to like the woods. And you can see that a couple are going into it's kind of like a B&B, and they're going in excitedly, and you can see that the roof has a set of balconies, and clearly that's where they're going to be declaring their love for each other under them. There's a few extra things that you notice as you walk by. First of all, you see Yana Whitehawk walking towards the Temple of Pelor, and she's got a bunch of white roses in her hand.
Oh.
And that is a signal of lost love during this time. She's walking solemnly and kind of not making eye contact with anybody, as she's just focusing on the person that she's going to be honoring at sunset. Well, the sun has set, but now at sunset, she's nearly there. You carry on walking, and you do notice that, because it's kind of overt, that where there was nobody before, suddenly you look up and there's someone just standing on the rooftop. Well, I say standing, they're kind of lounging on the rooftop. And you look at them, they kind of just give a little wave. Nondescript character, black matte clothing, face covered, and from your observation, these are different characters, different heights, different builds. It's when all of a sudden you go past a halfling one, and the halfling one just goes and salutes with one finger, that you realize that these lot are keeping tabs on you. You get as far as the parade ground in the middle of the city, and from what you can tell, there's nobody following you anymore. What are you going to do?
I will start walking towards the Liberty Quarter, I think it is.
Yep. So the fastest way from the parade grounds to the Liberty Quarter is a street you know very well. It's called Emerald Street. Emerald Street is an extension of the Merchants' Quarter that goes right through the city, and they have described it before as the main artery of commerce in Ostergald. With a Merchants' Quarter that's at the docks is primarily about import, export, and getting together with deals of people who can shift in and out of the city. This is very much the consumer street. In London, it's Oxford Street. In Ostergald, it's Emerald Street. And you've been here many times before. All the best clothing is here, arguably the best mainstream clothing. The best artisans in the city feature their work here through traders. In the artisans' quarters, you'll be able to go to the artisan shops, find things that you won't be able to see anywhere else. But this is very much what is in right now. The things that are on Emerald Street dictate the fashion of Ostergald, which is why you know it very, very well. Walking down its length, this is the place for fashionable people to be, which means that there are fashionable couples here. And certainly, as you walk down the street, there are people that you know, because these are the fashionistas of the city, the trendsetters of the city, which, from your backstory, you have been ingratiating yourself with for the last couple of years. Part of the way down, you do get a character walking up to you, and that character is she seems to be a soldier. By a soldier, I think kind of the bearing of a sergeant or even a major, and she's currently in not civvies, dress uniform, and she's walking down the street towards you. And if I haven't said it before, she's human, and she looks very much the template imperial officer. And as she's walking down, she's got a bit of a swagger. She doesn't seem to be in a rush anywhere. And she stops you and says, "Glory, how are you?" You know this is Violet.
Okay. Hello there. It's been a while. How are you, darling?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful. The Duke has kept me so busy of late, going out and, well, he says waging war. I like to think of it as collecting victory. She's definitely laying this on thick.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I remember the salon was the last time. Where was it? It was one of Rachel's salons. In this case, a salon is not a place where you get your hair done. It is a ladies' salon. It's a place where you go and have civilized conversation and excellent food. It's a soiree, basically.
Mm.
I
Oh,
remember,
yes.
I remember we had the most engaging of chats, and although I know it's a terribly passé for me to do this, but I believe, like myself, you're of noble bearing.
Oh, darling. You know we don't call ourselves that. But I suppose it's the
My
closest.
apologies. Well, I was just wondering if, you and I might talk a little later about, well, the the issues of the day, globally, of course. And I was wondering, perhaps we could get a good bottle of Elven Red and, well, keep each other
Oh,
company.
darling.
Unless, of course, you're going to a bow. You don't seem to be in any rush. As am I. I mean, I think only fools rush in.
Why rush when I know what's waiting for me? I'll see you later, darling.
Oh, when you say when I know what's waiting for me, she looks absolutely crushed. Give me a very quick social with proficiency because
You're
D&D
so
does not have
evil.
certain. This is an etiquette check.
Etiquette, what does that fall under?
It's for you. It's charisma with proficiency. Well, it's a etiquette and society basically. There's no role for that in D&D.
Yeah, so that's basically the charisma save, I think?
Oh yes, it is.
Or
Yeah,
is it
it's the
just
same
the
because
modifier?
you're a sorcerer, so you have proficiency. So it's like your charisma save.
Mm-hmm. 27.
Okay, you know, for Violet to turn around and kind of almost call you equals is an insult to you. She comes from this backwater barony. The reason why she's a soldier is that she's one of these. She's one of these girls who, even though she is nobility, has worked all her life. She's got fantastic kind of grassroots upbringing, and clearly ambitious and all the rest of it. Although she works for Duke Edmund, so that kind of says a little something about her character. But she is, sorry to say, beneath you, and your family would eat her up and spit her out. She would not be able to cope.
No.
She
She is trying to
raises her
marry up.
eyebrows.
I said.
Yeah. She's trying to marry up. As you give your rejection, she squares her shoulders, stands fully to attention. Not snapping to attention, but standing her full height, and says, "Well, good luck. That must be very nice for you." And turns on her heel sharply, and carries on walking down the street. Except this time, it's a little more like marching than the sashaying that she did before. You do notice that she's not the only person kind of trawling the street effectively to find people from the in crowd. People are in cafes, calling people over who are on their own. You get called over by another 4 or 5 people. In some cases, it is just friends chatting to you and saying, "Where are you going?" Trying to get a little bit of gossip. But it slows you down a little bit. But on par, Emerald Street is the fastest way to the Liberty Quarter. And the shops are kind of open. Some are open, some are shut. Some where they are privately owned will normally have just maybe a couple spending their time together, but keeping the shop open. You can see that the busiest ones tend to be those who have got luxury items, confectionery, and florists as well. So
The ones who
you
can
get
profit the most.
mhm. You get to the Liberty Quarter, and when you turn the corner, you suddenly go, "Oh, yeah!" And you can see that the Liberty Quarter currently, you can see buildings that are standing further back, but for about a block around the Liberty Quarter, all of the buildings have become rubble.
Oh yeah, they did basically blow up the buildings to barricade themselves. Whew.
And you can see that there are, you would expect, because a lot of these buildings were people's homes, you'd expect to see people kind of a little sad, maybe. And, kind of looking through the rubble for their possessions and things, because clearly they wouldn't have had time to get the possessions out. Instead, you can see there's a party on top of the rubble. And this seems to be not the Thieves Guild themselves, but the people who live under the Thieves Guild's protection. They've managed to level the rubble in one case and there are kegs of beer and wine. There are trestles that have been put up with large wheels of cheese. There's a hog roast going on, and you can see, for the most part, the people of Ostergold, or the people of the Liberty Quarter, the citizens of the Liberty Quarter, really living it up. It's a major thing, and there's the glitter throwing and all the other stuff, and there are lovers just sat there, on a seat made of a convenient piece of rubble, just holding each other, listening to the bards as they are playing various musics, and the tumblers and the dancers making it an event as well. You do see that the cheese, the wine, the beer, the hog roast itself, the meat and things are being handed out by figures in black. Your typical night thieves, your night stalkers.
Right. Well, I do know that the one I'm after is in the heart of all of this, so in I go.
Okay. As you approach the rubble, you get a little tug at your side, and this tiny little gnome boy, I mean, he's like a foot,
Aww.
goes, "Excuse me, miss. Excuse me.
Hello there.
Are you Glory?
Yeah.
Hi. We're looking out for you. I'm looking out for you.
Why, thank you.
Would you like a guide?"
Yes, very much. I do believe I haven't walked around here so much.
Okay, I'll be your guide. He stands there looking expectantly.
Mm-hmm. Well then, show me.
He carries on staring at you.
You have to say where you're going.
Right. I'm looking for Emanuela.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Okay.
Stares at you. Big. You have a feeling he's probably around about 9 years old. Big eyes, big gnomish eyes, big grin on his face.
That's really young.
That is a really
9 years old is really young for a gnome.
He's just staring at you.
Mm-hmm. How about this? Once we get to my destination, I'll give you something. Not beforehand.
Okay. And yeah, immediately he's like, okay. And kind of looks a little satisfied with himself that, he's managed to get some form of contract out of you. And he goes, "This way."
Mm-hmm.
Starts toddling off to a part of the rubble. And he goes, "This bit's not real."
Oh, interesting. Well,
And you step through the illusion, and it is indeed what seems to be a corridor of force energy. So when they blew up all the buildings, they previously set up like a long arch tunnel of force. So when the rubble came down, it locked onto itself and made this accessible tunnel. This way.
All right. Coming.
You notice that even with the fact that this force tunnel has been made, certain small rocks and things like that, and some uneven ground has resulted as all the buildings turned into rubble. It kind of shifted the ground a little bit. So you do notice with the leg, and I say there's a 9-year-old gnome. He's only got tiny little legs. You do notice he kind of has to shuffle over certain patches of land and things. And yeah, for a 9-year-old kid, who's smaller than most 9-year-old kids, he's the size of like a toddler. He seems to have no fear at all.
Nope.
He takes you through the other side of the rubble into what seems to be a small market square, and then gestures to what seems to be a basement on the side of a building, just a set of steps that would go under, and you'd expect it to go into the building. He walks over to the top of the stairs, gestures you as if to say, "No, it is this way. It is this way." And then kind of jumps down each of the steps because, again, very short legs. Then once you follow him down there, you notice there's a door to the right, which would go into the building, and just in front of you, just a brick wall. And he kind of goes up, touches the brick with one finger, mutters something under his breath, and Diagon Alley style, the bricks just start flying backwards and folding in on each other. And in front of you is a beautiful, if dark, tunnel. He gestures with his fingers, and a light spell appears in his hand, and goes, "This way, miss." And starts to toddle down to down the corridor.
Glory will summon some dancing lights as well to get a little bit more light.
"Oh, I like that. I've been trying that one." And he carries on. He carries on toddling down. You do hear the bricks go back to the normal place behind you, and you walk into the darkness.
Interesting.
Tunnels under this part of the city, they do have the same feel as the cellars that you went down a long time ago when you met the ooze that came from the abyss. And these are more like the service tunnels, which were the first part of that dungeon crawl. However, they are spotless. They are completely clean. And between his light and your dancing lights, you take a look at the floor, and the floor looks like it's been mopped that day. Yeah, you can even see mop marks, where the light reflects off the floor. And there are little scuffs and things where clearly somebody else has walked down here. But either this tunnel hasn't been used that much, but it has been cleaned, or there's something else in play. You continue to go down another couple of flights of stairs, and the tunnels start to change. Once again, they have larger diameters. They start to look more like the sewers, but there's no sewage. Perfectly clean as you're walking along. He goes to the side of one of the tunnels, traces a sigil on one of the walls. The bricks fly back again, and suddenly, where there was complete silence, there's a hustle and bustle of people. There's singing and people laughing, and you can hear now footfalls of people dancing. And he walks in. Presumably, you walk in with him.
Yeah.
And in this section is another one of these gigantic tunnels. This one's bigger than the last one. And you think it may have been some sort of cistern or something like that in the past, where all of the sewers would come together and it would empty into something. But now it's just this giant underground chamber. And you can see that stalls and makeshift tents and other such dwellings have been made into the walls as well, using all of the height. As there are people selling various wares. You can tell that by the way that some of them are slightly personalized, that pretty much everything down here has either been stolen or exchanged for something stolen. And there are people selling wares at the moment, but again, it's luxuries, it's clothing, all the things that you would expect to be sold at Sahastra. The main floor of this system, though, is full of bards and dancers and the types of things that you would see up on the surface. The little boy turns around to you, kind of watches as you take in this sight, and goes, "Oh, have you never been here before?"
No.
"Oh, welcome to the Undermarket."
So this is it.
Oh, so you heard of it then? Yep, you can find anything here. Everything and anything a chap can unload, as the song goes. So, right, we need to go that way. And toddles off into the crowd. You going to go after him?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Oh boy. Is this where it's gonna get hard? Oh, right. I'm good at perception. That's a high roll. So, a 24. Does that get me anywhere?
What it gets you is a Triton woman walks up, kind of winks at you, brushes up against you, and you go, "Oh, I just remembered where I am." You turn around and say, "Give that back, please." And she puts an item of yours back into your hand. I'm going to say it's your compact.
Hmm.
And she shrugs playfully as if to say, you know where you are.
Yeah.
And yep, keeps going. Give me another roll.
Perception again?
Yep.
How many of my items are you gonna try and steal? Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So this time a tiefling guy with bright coloured clothing walks up to you and says, "Miss," and as he gets close to you, he can see that you're keeping track of him, and he looks at you, winks at you, gives a nod of approval, and walks away again.
Right.
Okay. Next one with advantage.
Eclipse would love to be here. She would steal all the things. She
Oh,
could steal.
I'll bring you next time there's a party. 21.
21.
Thank you.
So
Advantage.
so this time, from what you can see, a trans half-orc comes up to you and goes, "Nah, too easy, and walks away. And you're there like, "What do you mean too easy?" And they move on. Final one, give me an Arcana roll with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. That's mean. Yeah. That is a 15.
A 15. You suddenly feel slightly lightheaded, and a very respectable-looking gentleman, an elven gentleman, that's dressed, with proper cravat and tie and a beautiful blazer and everything, kind of catches you as you stumble and goes, "Are you okay, miss?"
Remember, I have my mind shielding, but yes. I'm fine, darling.
So glad to. He goes to step off and walks away with a smile on his face.
What did
Did
it
he
take?
steal?
Right. Luckily, most of my things are kept in the bag of holding, so.
Yep, your bag of holding's fine. They clearly haven't opened it. You check your pockets, and yeah, as far as you're concerned, everything's there. It's quite disturbing.
Oh well. Better
And
get to where I'm going.
you catch up with your little guide. He's grinning from ear to ear. And with a bit more of a springing in his step, he walks up to an archway, touches it, and this archway, the bricks don't kind of fold back. Instead, there's this pop and this shimmer, and the wall kind of turns semi-solid. And he walks through, and there's ripples as he walks through.
Well, I'll walk in after him.
Sure. You walk in, and you would be in complete darkness again, but he's lit up the light spell again. He goes, "We're going to go through a place where we can't have lights, but looking at your eyes, you can see okay in the dark."
Yes.
"Okay. Do you mind? It's kind of important. You don't want to insult anybody."
Fine.
He closes his hand, and the light goes out. He says, "This is an important place. It's a holy place. It's well, you kind of understand when you get there, and kind of it's the right day to come here too." You walk through a bunch of corridors in the dark, and there's a couple of times where just suddenly this little hand goes on your knee, and he says, "Right, you need to take one step to the left, miss. Nothing to be worried about. There's a few traps around here, just for intruders and the like." And
Mm-hmm.
he guides you through quite a few traps, and none of them go off, so you don't know what they are. And he's like, "Okay, okay, in here." And you walk in, and there's suddenly this susurrus around you, and even though it's pitch black, well, pitch black with a mote of light in front of you, there's this like whispers are coming out of the wall. And he says, "Welcome. This is the chasm. It's it's a holy place. So it's a really, really large natural cave. But in the middle of it, there's like this crater that they turned into like this what do they call it? It's like an auditorium. It's like big steps you can sit on and stuff. And it at the very bottom of this, there's an old temple, secret. It's the trickster's temple. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dedicated to Sahanin herself. Even though it's not open to the sky, there's this little moonbeam. You can just about see it over there. There's a little moonbeam that just lights up the altar. It's the only thing you can see in the cavern. And everybody can hear what we're saying. So be really careful what you say. If you don't want them to know about it, don't say something here. It carries all over the place. It's got weird sound. Yeah? And if someone stands on the pulpit and starts talking, you can hear it from anywhere in the chasm. It's really cool. I wasn't allowed here until about a year ago. Anyway, we're going through here, but we'll kind of get close enough that you can see down into the temple if you want."
Yes.
And he takes your hand. He stretches a bit to take your hand, so you kind of sympathetically stoop down a bit. And he takes you through this chasm. The chasm is huge. It actually takes quite a few minutes to traverse this chasm. And I guess cavern would probably be a better word, but anyway. And you do go past the start of these steps that are carved into this crater. And it is like one of these Roman theatres where you sit on steps. And there is a suggestion with your dark vision that there are figures reclining on this, and they are watching as a pair of priestesses, bedecked in Sahanin robes, are holding hands over the altar and whispering over it. And there's
Do you see? Do you see any scorch marks? Or claw marks?
There's some scorch marks, and there's a fight that's been here recently from another canonical game. And you can see as they are reconsecrating the temple. I won't even get you to roll.
Hmm.
You pass through the other side after watching this and saying, "Yeah, it seems pretty cool." And you're getting this strange sound effect. And as you get to the other side, to another archway, you do hear a notable whisper saying, "Hello, Glory. Thank you for coming."
Hello.
And you get taken into the corridor, and after you go around about halfway down, there's this rushing of sound in your ears, and suddenly it's dimly lit. And you turn a corner into a beautiful room with bookshelves from floor to ceiling. There's a banquet table with, from just a glance, probably about 16 chairs on it. That's off to one side, currently unused. And then there's a set of sofas that are in a circle, a roaring fire, coffee table in amongst all the sofas, and lounging on one of the sofas in a black Jessica Rabbit style dress is Emmanuel, the Queen of Thieves. And she has a strange twisted crystal gauntlet. Not gauntlet, crystal goblin. I'll get it right in a minute. Crystal goblet in her hand. And she sets it down to one side and says, "Thank you, Benny. Thank you, Your Honor." And turns to you, looking at you expectantly.
Yeah. I'll drop him 2 or 3 gold coins.
The gold coins, he can barely get his fingers around them. He puffs out his chest with absolute pride, does a little hop, skip, and teleports away.
What a sweet child.
Yes, he was born with an incredible gift, much like yourself, a gift of the blood. Unfortunately, his power is exceeding his maturity. I allow him to at least have a modicum of safety so he can enjoy his childhood before real life hits him.
Yes. Those with power are usually suffering young, as I have learned. At least over here.
I have to admit that power was thrust upon me. Not, I wasn't born into it. But I knew it at an early age. Please, take a seat. You'll excuse me if I don't get up. I'm nursing somewhat of a wound. She she moves aside part of the dress because there's a split in the dress, and you can see that her left foot is scarred up with burns, but there's a current kind of sparkling of magic on it, like it's healing.
Of course.
A bit of a curse. It should be gone by morning. I hope you don't mind if
Good.
it doesn't put you off, does it?
No, I've seen worse.
Thank
If
you.
anything, it shows that you're a fighter.
Well, I'll certainly learn to use my blades rather than having to provide a flourish. It was a good kick, to be fair. Just landed on the wrong target. So, to what do I owe this pleasure?
Well, and Glory will pull up the wooden token and spin it on the table. I thought we could spend some time together.
She looks at the token and raises her eyebrows, and then just this huge, playful grin appears on her face and says, straight to the point, I see. I respect that.
Oh,
I was hoping
we
I'd
both
provide
know.
you a little more of a mystery than this. I shall have to try harder next.
I do enjoy the chase, but it's just nice to finally meet someone who can keep up.
Well, once I heal, of course. But yes. I'd like to get to know you a little bit, talk a little bit of shop, a little bit of who you are, where you're going, if that's okay.
Of course, if you don't mind speaking of the same.
I'm less of a secret than your employer.
Oh, I believe most people are.
Yes, and that's one of the things I wish to talk about. If we are to cultivate a friendship, I know that we both know that it will form a conflict of interest. So let me state it clearly. I will ask you questions. You can answer them truthfully or refuse to answer. Simple as that.
Yes,
Not now,
I do
but
believe that is
when needed.
when needed.
I know that I am now against my wishes, the head of the most evasive organization in the whole of Valeria. No one can make people disappear like me. It's quite startling, really. I'm scared of the power myself. But even before the New Order, we had these capabilities. Our founders saw to it that we were able to stay ahead of any who would pursue us. Otherwise, we would not be who we are, would we not?
No. And staying ahead is, well, it's the fundamental for survival. And I do believe that's a goal we both share.
indeed. So you understand that my concern that even with all the great assets at my disposal, I'm unable to determine who or what Renata Green is. Once again, I'm getting business out of the way.
Yes. I admit it is fascinating working so closely with her. After all, she understands how the world works, yet, well, she plays it like she wants.
She's a figure of cold logic. Ordinarily, I would be supportive of this. She, unfortunately, doesn't fit. Here. And she steps over to a drinks cabinet, opens up the bottom, and there's an array of beautiful glasses, goblets, tankards, no two the same. She takes out one of them, and it is a pewter goblet that seems to have these beautiful, deep purple stones, oval shape on the side. She fills it with a good-looking wine from a carafe and brings it up to you and says, "Are you able to identify using magical means?"
I do not usually do that, but I can see magic using. It is quite useful.
Very well. She goes off to a bureau, pulls out a scroll of identify, and takes up her goblet, not yours, the one that she's placed in front of you, takes up her goblet and gives you the identify scroll. Identify my glass.
All right, and I will use the scroll.
Use the scroll. The glass that she is drinking from is a glass of truth. While she drinks from it, within 10 minutes of each sip, she is compelled to tell the truth.
Oh.
Now you know what it does. That means that I don't have to waste any more scrolls. She takes
No.
a huge drink from it and goes, "Now you know that I'm telling you the truth. The glass in front of you is an ancient glass, an ancient goblet of lore. 2 of them in the whole of existence. The second one is on the plane of elemental wind, or plane of elemental air. You drink from this and think of one subject, you will be able to know anything that anyone knows about this subject. Drink it and think of the origins
Meow.
of Renata Green."
I
And
will
she-
do that. And no, I will not think about Jordan. Stop it, Eclipse.
Please.
I
Yeah,
know you're
it's-
speaking in my head, but no.
You already know about Renata. You don't need to know more. You can know about Jordan instead.
I
So-
can just hear this kitty voice in my head. Jordan.
Simon, your video seems to have crashed real bad. Are you able to jump out and jump in again, and maybe that will help? Or
I'll switch off the camera and put it back on. Hang on.
yeah, do something like that.
Actually, it's fine in Discord.
Oh, I had a big green slobber right across it. Okay, so that's better. I don't know when you
That's better.
froze
There we
and then the big green thing came, but anyway, sorry.
Okay, cool. No problem. Thank you. And so
But
you
yes,
drink it.
I would like
and-
to know more about Renata because she's a mystery.
Okay. Unfortunately, Emmanuel is making a point. So as you drink this and you're thinking of Renata Green's origin, you realize that you are now under the effect of the spell Legend Lore, which is way above your current level.
Yes.
And you instinctively know that you can only do this once every 30 days with this glass, with this goblet. And you, as you're there and you're staring into kind of it all, you get nothing back.
Ah,
Good.
yes.
Renata Green, of what anybody knows, nobody knows where she comes from, of her childhood. Nothing. Just, it's gone.
I should have
Eclipse
expected
knows a little
that.
bit.
Shush. That is true. Eclipse knows a little bit. After her
She
deep
does.
dive in her mind.
Yeah, I had a deep dive into Renata's mind.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
would probably get a few whispers of the things that she saw, but nothing conclusive. You don't
Mm.
know who she was born to, where she grew up in, none of that stuff. Legend lore should dump a ton of information into your head. None. Nothing.
Well, now that is. Well, I suppose that's to be expected, coming from her.
This is my problem. That spell works on everybody. There are some things that are lost to time. The gods themselves have made it happen. But no, someone's origins, too many people know about it. Childhood friends, the parents, uh, everybody that she's ever associated with on her clear rise to power. The Green Organization started off as a legend itself. They were a secret Kabbalistic organization muttered about in the salons around Ostergold around about 60 years ago. That somehow the Green Organization was behind this. They were seen very much like some sort of secret society in real world terms, like the Illuminati. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they were the foodstuff of conspiracy theorists for the longest time until the symbols started appearing. And the next thing you know, Renata Green has turned up and given a donation to the Duke. Come to the modern day, Renata still appears to be in her 20s or 30s.
Yes.
I mean, that doesn't really matter all that much. She could have elvish blood. She could be another being we don't know. I mean, we get all sorts of Nostergold. That doesn't worry us as much. It's the fact that we can't get anything on her.
I'm gonna be honest with you, since you are with me. I have an idea of why that is, but it is not something I can speak of at
I
the
respect
current
that.
moment.
That's fine. I respect that. But I felt it necessary to communicate to you my concerns.
Yes,
We have an understanding.
we do.
She sits back, now seemingly relieved that she is able to talk, knowing that her concerns are aired, and says, I'm not going to be here forever, you know. I have to do my work, make a name for myself, have myself noted down in the annals of history as a good queen. But once that's finished, I'm planning my retirement even as we speak. And she looks at you with I'm going to go a hungry look.
Well, I can assure you that once you're done, well, living in luxury is the birthright of every Escacotal.
You and I are similar in, I would like to think, more ways than one. We choose to play our own game, make a name for ourselves out in the great wide world rather than having to stand under the shadows of others. And believe me, I know what it is to escape the shadows. Although she does look around herself and, yeah, I'm living in the dark.
Well,
Well, love is something that's denied us, you and I. We can never truly believe in it. We can't believe that those who have been set to be our closest allies and friends and lovers aren't just sleeper agents ready to kill. And she kind of says this with such a sadness, like a really profound sadness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is difficult not being able to trust your closest. Unfortunately, it
It's
is the
killing me.
life
It's the
we
hard
live.
part, even when you send somebody else to do it. And she just says it openly.
Oh, indeed. I'm dreading the day of me and my cousin's final confrontation. It's been so long, you know?
And yet you were set upon each other as rivals. It's traditional for most roles within your family to have a rival, is it not?
Yes.
Your final graduation?
Everyone except the priestesses, for some reason.
Yes. Thankfully for hope.
Yes.
And at this point, she reveals, yeah, I've done my homework. Of course I have.
Oh, yes, obviously. By this point. Then you also know how dangerous it would be for you to be with me.
No more dangerous than where I am now. Do you know what happens to a queen or a king when they abdicate?
Nothing good.
Yeah, it's our final run. We have to steel ourselves. After stealing so many things, we have to steel ourselves from the guild. When we are declared no longer rulers, or we declare ourselves as abdicating, there is a ritual, and I have to flee the city, whilst every one of the Thieves' Guild tries to take me.
Then. Well,
And
I
thereafter
can
I
make
will live in
sure you
exile.
have somewhere you can land, so to speak, once you're ready.
Well,
After all,
2
by
kings
then.
and 1 queen before me have been able to be able to do it. I'm hoping to be able to do so myself, and the first part of that is strong allies.
Yes, I would imagine so.
Don't worry, I don't expect you to aid me just yet. I have plenty more to do.
Indeed, and I have something to finish.
So, it's question time for you.
Of course.
If we are to have this arrangement, I have to show what's on offer. And at this point, she allows the other half of the skirt to fall, showing some of what's on offer. She has very nice legs. But she is referring to you asking her questions to show how influential she is.
Well
In
then.
game terms, you can get some intel off Emmanuel.
Oh boy.
Make the questions
Well.
good, because you can ask on behalf of the other players, and I will, of course, now that we've given you some screen time, because they had quite a lot of screen time last time. Guys, if there's any questions that you may have said in conversation with Glory whilst you've been traveling, whilst you've been living together, all the rest of it, anything that you would have spoken out loud, you can remind Felicia of it now, and she can decide which questions she wants to ask.
I mean, that's the big one.
I am not asking the Queen of Thieves about fucking Yorudan while on a date.
It is one of the biggest treasures, and if anyone knows about it, it would be the Queen of
Do
Thieves.
you know what Genghis Khan's treasure is? Asking for a cat.
What will we do with our stabby kitty?
Oh, yes, I believe she's on the payroll. No, she's an associate of mine.
Yes, she's been working with the Bounty Hunter Guild.
We
Poor
do enjoy
dear
our
has been
games.
chasing a treasure for oh so long. But I do believe with your history you might have, some more clues. After all.
Ah, you refer to the council. Yes. Some of my kind have gone to pursue it in the past, but we don't believe that the heart of Juradan is a treasure. It may have some form of wealth attached to it, but at present I don't have any particular need to go in that direction. I believe his heart is just that, his heart. I may be wrong. I haven't been there yet. When I'm bored, I might. But yes, it seems too much like hard work, and quite a lot of
Oh yeah.
my
You should
underlings have died growing
see
up.
how much she goes on. I'm afraid the cat has. Well, she's chasing quite a big mouse right now. It's fun though.
Have you spent much
What?
time around Tabaxi or gone to Astron?
No. It's it's a
I
new
have
thing for
been.
me. I'll admit. We don't. Well, we get visitors, but Scholar has a lower population of those, and well, most tieflings come from my region.
I went to the temple of Narukai before, when I was let's call it an apprentice for now. And it was beautiful. And I wouldn't think of stealing a single thing from there. Although arguably all of the Tabaxi stole or took everything that's in there and then dumped it there because they do lose attention very quick. I can understand her fascination. It's a place to be inspired. Do you know that they have an artifact there that is said to be a part of a large and deadly creature, one that the gods themselves saw fit to destroy?
I've heard about it, but well, I suppose it would be interesting to go back with the clip sometimes to see it for myself.
Oh, of course. I can arrange that if you want. Maybe make it into a business trip. Although the temple is currently off bounds, the city of Narukai, of course, is free for plunder. If it's within my challenge range, of course, one has standards.
Of course.
It may just be a vacation.
Well, who's to say you can't, well, bring back some new souvenirs while on vacation?
The only one I know with regard to the pots that I'm sure that Eclipse is looking for is the one in the Wizard's Tower is transdimensional. Be
Oh,
prepared to uh, be playing with portals when you go to that one. And stay
that.
together. The portals shift.
Yeah.
Oh, the other part as well is be careful with one of the traps. One of the traps sets off a form of shrieking throughout the tower. It's very hard to drown it out in your head. It starts to get to you after all.
I do. Yes. Thank you.
Apparently, it gives a different riddle each time.
I'm sure that they will have fun with that then. I'm not one for riddles all that much. It's usually too convoluted when.
Mm. They're good distractions, but certainly a frustration when you want to just move, evade, and find ingress. Anyway, I am at your disposal. Well, my mind for now, at least.
Yes.
What
There
would you have
is
me tell you?
one thing I'm curious about.
Go ahead.
The Duke's son.
She looks at you with a kind of not disapproving look of you, but disapproving look of the subject, and says, yes, that's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yes, we. Well, we discovered a few inconsistencies.
Name them, and I'll tell you what I can.
Well, the first one is the people living in the sewers and outside the
Oh,
city.
they're not so bad. They're not so bad.
No, they're not, but, well, I'll have to admit, Farewell had quite the interesting meltdown after seeing the Duke's son commune with a tentacle.
Ah, now we hit the jugular. The fish folk themselves are civilized. They have different gods, different culture to us. But I have a non-aggression pact with them, and they seem to be keeping their promises to Tristan. The Duke himself has offered quite a heavy reward should he ever be in danger again, and I've promised that with my domain here under the city, that I shall make sure that he has ample opportunity to seek our help and seek shelter and safety if he needs. But yes, the tentacle. Oh, stupid boy. Stupid boy. He went out a long time ago on a boat, trying to prove to his father that there was something that he could do that his father couldn't. Edmund's fear of sailing and moving upon the water is famous. It's his one humiliation. And we do bask in it from time to time, remind ourselves that he is perfect as he claims himself. And so, young and aggrieved by his father's aggression and constant criticism, nobility,
No,
that he could do something that dear old daddy couldn't. And so he took a single swift, and you know a swift is a small vessel with a single sail, and took it out onto the sea for a jolly. In a storm, because of course he couldn't just prove that he could go on the water, he had to show his father that he didn't fear the turbulent seas. Now, I happen to know that he was practicing with a coach to swim in rough waters for months beforehand, and also had a sailing instructor. But whilst his father was down in the merchant quarter and had full view of the sea, he was informed by an anonymous informant that his son was going out in the storm, his son and heir.
yes.
So, yeah. He went out, he was young, he was stupid, and the inevitable happened, and he got tossed into the ocean, and a wave crashed onto the Swift, and the Swift turned up several days later. But we saw it destroyed.
Oh,
Pieces of it turned up days later, but Tristane turned up about an hour later. Now, he said that it was the Kutoa, the people who are now my neighbors, who saved him and convinced his father that he was able to get some form of truce and underwater protection. Now, for a duke who has a fear of water, having an underwater army defending you was something that he leapt upon. So, he left that as Tristane's responsibility. Tristane became the trade admiral for Ostergald, and Tristane put himself in place under his father as a respected, well, not equal, but at least a capable son. And a lot of the criticisms and driving and harshness stopped. They were successful in that. However, I found something, pardon the pun, fishy about the whole story, and so I started having Tristane followed. I could always put it under the guise that after Edmund's original concern for his son, that I was simply keeping somebody there to rescue him should he get in trouble, and as a result, claim reward. It's always a believable lie when you can say that you wanted to gain out of it. Such a stereotype of thief. But I had intelligence of another bearing. He never showed any signs of magical adeptitude. He has since learnt some of the arcane arts through the wizarding means. But before all that, I saw him able to throw bolts of force, to gesture at somebody and watch them age. I saw him be able to run through darkness faster than any of my thieves, knowing exactly where every single pitfall, anything that would trip him up, any obstacle. He picked locks in the dark. I taught him how to pick locks. I knew that part. But in the dark. Not even by feel. Moreover, he started able to translate and communicate to people whilst speaking the oddest of languages. I still haven't figured out what it is. And he was also able to force his will on others with a glare. Something that his father tried to teach him to do since the age of 5, but he's unable to do so until he is Fraccar in the sea. It is my belief that he has taken on a patron, a very old and very dangerous patron, who saved him that day.
Yes.
You know of the Kraken. Have you heard of the Kraken?
Yes.
I believe that Tristane is a warlock of the Kraken, which, if he were to become the Duke, may be a problem. Unfortunately,
Yes.
Renata Green is under an oath, a strong geas, which means that she will protect him with her. And if one of my theories is correct, she's not going to be dying of old age anytime.
No. No, she is not. Yes, that does confirm with what we've been thinking about that situation, and it does complicate a lot. Thank you.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Well, I suppose there is one thing that we've been seeking some information on. As you know, I myself have no ties to the city. I'm here for fun and glory. But my dearest Cora, she's been looking into this. Well, they say it's a mine collapse, but I do believe we have some suspicions. About 3 years ago?
Ola Soraka.
Yes.
She's mired in all this residuum nonsense. The same nonsense that meant the king before me had to abdicate. I hear his abdication didn't go well. I never saw the body. But I'm told that well, apparently he wasn't as loved by his people as he thought.
No, and sinking money into something like that was a very bad idea.
Ola Soraka found a rift in the mine. The rift itself led to a small amount of residuum, but the residuum was red. Red, crystalline, but they identified it as residuum. You have to go through the rift to get it, and we believe that the rift went to a section of the abyss. not too deep. Certainly not as deep as where Renata believes the architect resides, where there is no physical presence, no up, down, left, right, a conceptual part of the abyss. More the wasteland part of the abyss. Casares, that kind of area. They realized that the residuum, this red residuum, was actually a quintessential life force of a demon that had been struck with a particular spell.
Yes.
Duke Edmund's best scholars started looking into it, as did Renata herself, and they discovered that there was a way of processing. It still didn't last very long, but processing, using it for a short period of time, say for example a battle, will tip the edge. You know that enchanted items are getting rarer. Trying to get hold of residuum in Alaria harder and harder. The price is triple what it used to be. Certainly since I was a little girl.
Yes.
So they started finding a way of taking this new residuum and cleaning it. The problem is, it didn't last very long. They destroyed a lot in the attempt, but eventually when they found a way of processing, granted, reducing its lifespan almost exponentially, but purifying it of the god's taint upon it, they realized that they wanted more. It was one of the scholars of the university who came up with the idea of processing demonic body. Something that sounds stupid in most people's ears, but saying that in front of the Duke, immediately he thought that this was progressive, thinking outside the box. He rewarded it.
Brilliant idea, which led to, well, one of the worst things this city has ever created.
Renata built on the idea. She refined the processes and started taking the lead. She even provided the facility, an ancient dwarven coastal fort, long before the formation of the empire. We had no idea it was there. She did. And it's now a crater.
Yes, one of my finest works, I'd say.
Oh, that's been confirmed then. It was you.
Yes. I thought you'd like to know that fact.
I'm impressed. So, she took the lead, and when things went the inevitable way of all industry, of greed, of influence, of infight, King Cradar himself had bought quite a number of people on her staff. She knew that things were about to go badly. And that's when she started setting, if you believe her story, wheels in motion herself. She believed that it had gone from a dangerous but controlled idea to just a dangerous idea. And she has admitted to Duke Edmund that she sabotaged her own facility in order to get things done. Although she says it was never supposed to blow up. It was just a failsafe that her organization had in place just in case something large like the architect. And now here we are. That's all I know so far.
Yes, that does. Interesting. So that's how they found out about the red residuum.
Ola Soraka got paid a lot. She got promoted a lot over this. And now has blackmail material on some very influential figures. Though she is not so stupid as to use it, just having it means that she has a way to speak to these people whenever she wishes without being turned away. The rift destabilized the mine. They currently have it closed temporarily. It needs mages to go down there on a regular basis. To seal it again. But it keeps ripping. It's like a darning something with candy floss. It's never meant to stay. She
No.
keeps on top of it, but as it rips, it destabilizes the mine. And if you're talking about the people who died in that mine, if one of your colleagues has an interest in that, yes. She was sending people down in useless parts of the mine to mine out scraps from seams that had already been mined, just to pretend the mine was still mining what it was. She would punish them and dock pay because they couldn't get out quotas from places that didn't have any seams, just so that she could disguise her work.
Typical. But that does explain, yes. It will be useful, I believe. At
Nobody
the
will
very
know
least.
Ola Soraka, but they will be interested in who ends up being the architect for her demise. Be careful with her. Her death, not so difficult. The side effects, maybe. I will do what I can. So if I have proven myself as connected, capable, worthy of a little glory,
Oh, I do think so.
good. Then let's not mess around. And she basically pounces on you.
Fair.
And before we fade to black, a minor amusing detail. In the middle of what happens when you fade to black, you notice that your lingerie has been changed to a completely different set of lingerie. At which point, Emmanuel does comment and says, I see you didn't manage to get past the tailor. And
No.
we really do fade to black after that. So,
Yes. Good.
happy Sahastra glory.
Mm-hmm. Should we have a break before we start up the next day?
Yep, we will do. We'll do a break now for 10 minutes, and then we'll get into you guys doing stuff as a group. I have a little bit for Cora, and then I want you guys to spend the rest of the session wrapping up and making plans, because next session we're going to be doing something. We're going to be going somewhere. So, any information you want to grab, any people you want to interrogate, anything like that, this is the session to do it, because then we're plowing.
Find cat. Find cat. Find cat.
Oh, you want to find a cat? Okay, we will find a cat. There's one in the chat, if they're still there. But yes, we will find the cat.
No. I meant the a cat.
Yes.
Yes.
We know
which cat you're speaking of, but there are many cats here. You are one.
Hello, cat. So we're gonna have a 10-minute break. I need coffee. It's been a long week, a good week, but a long week.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna grab a coffee, and we will see you guys after the break. And welcome back, everybody. So,
Oh.
before the break, I spoke a lot. I gave a lot of information out. I don't want to speak as much anymore, but thankfully now we are out of the narrative. I'm hoping you're liking the little skits that I strung together there, and I'm hoping you players have got some more information to pursue certain things. As Glory continues her cultivating her friendship with the Queen of Thieves, we are going to quickly go over to Cora. It's late. You are covered in this magical glitter, and you're kind of trying to remember how long it takes for this to deactivate, and you're kind of curious that when you transition into the Feywild, if you'll still be glowing. And you can hear as a lot of people are going to bed, exhausted revelers. And just quickly, between Kate, Nick, and Corinne, how did the chase end?
Well,
At this
considering
point,
that,
that
go on. Because I'm pretty
I
sure
was
I've
gonna
got a
say-
good way of getting away. So, and I'm pretty sure that Gora does too, considering that both of us can move through walls. And you can't
Okay.
fly through walls.
I like this. So I'm
No.
going to.
But
let's
you're
do it
being
this
chased
format.
by bat. They
I-
can squeeze through
Yeah,
small
Yeah, but
windows
she
and
can't
stuff.
fly through walls.
I'm
and
gonna-
both of us can go through walls.
I'm heading
but
to a
I
bar.
also can turn myself invisible.
Sure.
You're also glowing
Okay.
like a light.
So
Yeah, but
how
when
about
I
we
do
it this way?
invisible, that's still
I'm
about
going
we
to
do
a
this?
bar.
fairy fire.
Right?
I'm going to a bar for a drink.
Sure.
I don't care that she's following me, because I'm going to have snatched at least I've got at least half a bag left that's going to be on my person, and I'm going to sit at a bar and have a drink, and if she comes up on me, we'll see what happens. But to me, it's like the night's done. We're absolutely covered in stuff. Like, there's no point in running anymore. Let's just
Okay.
enjoy the rest of the night.
I like it. I like it. So you go to the bar as you sit down and wait for your pursuer to catch up with you. Being that.
Cora does.
Oh, yeah, Cora does. you split the party. In this case, is a good thing. I'll get to Corinne in a minute and find out which one she follows.
I mean, to be fair, that's not much of a wait, considering that Clips can go. She can double dash every turn. So, like,
Yes, but you
I
can't be
don't
too-
know how it's a chase.
We
Yeah,
will
but I was
see.
gonna say, how much of a chase is it when I can catch up almost instantly?
Well, he can.
I can meld into stone. You can't throw glitter or chase someone when they're inside of stone.
Let's
That's
do
how
this.
Farewell gets
Okay,
away.
so
He just goes, "Nah, I'm done," and he just disappears into the wall and he's gone.
So this is how it goes. I'm going to say that in the time it takes for Cora and Farewell to run before your paralysis, remember you were under whole person, drops. If Farewell dove into stone there, which I don't know if he kind of said to Cora, I'm doing this, you can do it too if you want, or if he just like said, you're on your own and just disappeared. Farewell just steps onto a cobblestone and falls through the floor. Or Homer Simpson's into a wall. Yeah? If he does that before the end of your paralysis, there's no way of getting to Farewell because you won't be able to find him. He is a wall.
Do
Or,
I
on the
do
other hand-
some saves? Or see how long it takes for me to get out?
It's not that important, I would say. He kind of has the advantage on you because you started off the chase paralyzed. But you have got one person you can track, and that is Cora. So as you do the whole batty thing following your quarry, you notice as Cora kind of pelts it into this seething bar. And I'm going to say that the bar that Cora goes into is the one that she originally saw Beat Baba Doom. The first time she saw Beat Ba doing a gig. And it is a pub called the Crooked Sign. And it's called the Crooked Sign because they couldn't get the other hook on, and they tried to paint the name of the pub on the sign as it was at an angle and painted it straight. They realized halfway through, and it was going to be called the Crow and Hammer, and ended up calling it the Crooked Sign because, well, pub name humor. You watch as she ducks into there. Cora gets a drink shoved into her hand pretty much the second she gets through the door. She's recognized. Everybody likes her. She's got maximum reputation in this part of the city. Yes, there's a few people who go, they got you good. And you get a drink thrust into your hand, and you go to sit down, waiting for your assassin to catch up with you. And as you sit down at a table, in full view of the door, albeit through the seething throng, Eowyn suddenly manifests on the table, takes some of the glitter. There's like a small pile on the table, and starts doing woad paint. Yeah, so she's doing like Celtic war paint on her face. It's supposed to be blue, but she can only get hold of purple, and she's doing like kind of swirls and things like that. So the Celts from back where I was born in Wales would put this stuff on, and it would give them power, and it would protect them from evil spirits and all sorts of stuff. And you can see just this little sprite kind of like with this what must be like a tiny peck of dust in her hand going, let's do this. And she's dancing about on the table like a prize fighter. So Eclipse, you glide down to the
I'm grabbing a second drink and sticking it in front of me at an empty seat if there happens to be one. Just FYI.
Yep, okay. Narratively, there is an empty seat with a drink there. So, Eclipse, if you go in now and look to your left, you can see probably a grinning Cora nursing a drink, and there's a second drink and a chair.
I will abandon my plans of revenge and go and have a drink.
Do me a wisdom saving throw. For people who have not read up on tabaxis have obsessive behavior. They have trouble letting go of things that they are attempting to do. They have trouble disengaging from hunts. They have a lot of trouble disengaging from their obsessions. Because she was chasing Cora, she's going to attempt to just sit down and have a drink.
13.
13.
I did drop it on the floor, and it was a 20, but I don't think floor 20s count. So, it's
you have a
13.
floor
20. 20s always
floor
count.
20. Yeah, so you have a floor 20 and you have a 13. So you sit down and you kind of take a moment, and then you just kind of break into a little bit of laughter. You reach for your drink, and as you do so, Eclipse, your second arm, without you willing it, your second arm just grabs hold of some dust and throws it straight at Cora. You failed. Your obsessive nature took over, and I should imagine you. Well, you can react now, whatever you like, because you failed.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I think you look pretty good. Yeah.
Thank you. You too. I particularly like the glitter mustache. It really fits my character. I didn't even know that tabaxi could have mustaches.
Neither did I, but it clearly works. There you go.
Well, you'll have to speak to Rich, who is another player in Illyria, about Baron von Mustachio, who will turn up at some point. I'm sure in canon he does play him from time to time. But yes, there is a person who walks past and goes, "Hey, I like the hearts," and you can see that just kind of on the outside of your leg, that's where Farewell did some hearts in pink. I think that was on Eclipse. It might have been on Iden.
No, that was all on Eclipse.
Yep. So yeah, you've got some like glittery pink hearts going down your leg.
She's stripy tiger as well with some sort of purple or something. I can't remember.
Yes. Yeah,
It looks pretty
You've got
cool.
luminous purple tiger stripes. Yeah. It's clashing with the spots something awful. I'm looking at the feline trickster picture here and going, that's a mess. Not the picture. The picture's beautiful, but with the stripes with the dots, it just doesn't go well. Glory would have done it. Okay. Go ahead. You're in a pub together.
Did we lose Farewell?
Where did Farewell go? Yeah.
Probably anywhere. Into a wall, probably. He'll be back. He'll figure it out.
Yes. We
Actually-
can call him.
Oh, yeah. I always forget we can do that. You do that, I'll get a drink. I'll go up to the bar and I'll grab another drink for Farewell. And Glory, because I'm assuming
call
Glory
Farewell.
also might be around. In fact, I'm going to get 3 drinks, thinking that Iden and Farewell and Glory are going to turn up.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrong on 2 accounts, because Glory, she ain't coming back. We just saw what she did with the rest of her night.
Sure.
And
More drinks
you
for
know
us.
Iden's not coming.
Yeah, we're doing
Cora doesn't.
I will.
I
will attempt to
how
call-
strong are the drinks?
I'm sorry, what?
Out of interest, Cora, how strong are the drinks? You can have small ale, you can have ale, you can have strong ale, the dwarvish stuff. There are wines, spirits, and also, because it's the free town, there's a moonshine.
I mean,
It's like Pachin.
Sure. I think these are just kind of normal drinks, thinking that we'll probably be sitting and drinking for a bit. This isn't like, let's get completely... We're already kind of high on life right now. So these are just pretty normal.
High on Sahastra, the Sahastra spirit. Okay. And so, sorry, carry on.
I was gonna say I will attempt a. Well, I know that Iden doesn't have his badge, but I will try. I will attempt to contact both Glory and Farewell and say, "Hey, we're having drinks at blah blah blah. I think that Glorious goes to voicemail. I don't.
The number you
Glory?
have dialed
It
has
goes
not been
right to
recognised.
voicemail,
Please hang
not
up
even
and try again.
hesitation.
The number you have
Yeah.
dialed has not been recognised. Please hang up and try again.
So yeah, Glory has taken off her badge and slipped it into a small, mildly enchanted velvet sack, which is completely blocking the signal. And farewell, even if you are still melded with stone, because the badge is on your person, you get the equivalent of ascending.
Actually, Simon, how big is the badge?
It's not big. It's slightly bigger than a coin. It's like a large commemorative coin.
If that's the case, then it's inside Glor's ring of holding.
Oh yes, yeah. So you just pick it up and whoop, not in this plane of existence anymore.
Nope.
Okay. So
Ain't
Yes,
nobody
I-
calling me now.
I contact Farewell and I tell him that we're at the Crooked Sign having a drink. If he wants to come, we have stopped chasing each other. We call a truce.
you may reply to this message.
You may reply to after the beep. Yeah, Farewell will. Sure. I just want to check one thing first, and then I'll be right with you. And Farewell will kneel down, and will take 10 minutes to cast Scrying, as I did an insight check just now and I rolled a 19 and I've got an insight of +9, so that's 28.
Yeah.
So I really want to scry on Aiden just to figure out whether or not he is there or
With
not.
a preparation being that last time you saw Aiden, he and Olivia were hand in hand, paralyzed as you ran away. Well, the whole person's still paralyzed. You are very quick to go, right. If I see anything I don't want to see, I am pulling the plug on the spell
this is
straight
Farewell.
away.
I mean, he's not going to sit there and watch.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, oh god!
Yeah. You're kind of there with your finger on the power button, kind of going, okay, if I don't see anything, and then so scrying, I need to just quickly check something about scrying.
It's a wisdom save 18.
Oh, Matthew Mercer manages to screw over Aiden once again. Let's see. The scrying. Dump. Oh, it fails at casting. Yep.
Interesting. Well done, you. And yeah, I get back up. I then on my way back.
He's got that non-detection thing that Olivia gave him.
Yeah.
So you can't scry on him.
Farewell didn't know that. So
Farewell.
he just thinks that Aiden's perhaps chosen to get lucky, and as such, he's rather pleased of him. He's rather pleased for him.
Well, even if Aiden was getting lucky, he would need some way of blocking you out. Do me an intelligence check with proficiency, please, Nick.
Times like this, I'm glad that my character's smart, even when I'm dumb as bricks. 25.
Okay. With that check, you know the difference between your scrying spell hitting a barrier, a ward, for example, Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum, and it kind of just whizzing off into the distance, not finding anything. It's the latter. Aiden is no longer on this plane of existence.
Huh.
Can
I
you
better not tell him.
scry on different places?
No, it's got to be on this plane of existence. It's got to be in the same plane as me. It actually says that is on. You can see and hear a particular creature you choose that is on the same plane of existence as you. It's written in the spell. Eclipse is gonna be pissed. Okay,
To
I
go
will walk.
beyond this plane of existence, you need an oraculum.
I'll walk back.
How will the kitty hunt her human when he's not on this plane of existence?
Oh
we'll
yeah,
see.
yeah.
You think I'm gonna find that Horizon Walker that can find other planes of existence, and then
Well, technically, I have invited one to the city. I'm just waiting for him to show up.
It's the same guy, isn't it?
It's the same guy, yeah. It's the same guy. It's the Tabaxi we met like a couple of episodes back. I've invited him to the city.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. He's invited your one night stand to the city. Lucky you.
Yay!
Yeah, for purely selfish reasons, not altruistic.
Oh, as long as it's selfish reasons, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Farewell will, on the way back, use the sending spell twice. One, to message the Tabaxi to see if he's coming, just to sort of say, you know, things tend to move rather quickly. It'd be useful to know if he is coming or not. Sorry to be this way. And then the other one to, it was Galliana Blackforge, wasn't it? Which was the Dwarven blacksmith. My notes aren't
Guinevere.
wrong.
Yeah,
Guinevere, right.
It's
I
basically
wrote that
Guinevere, but said with more gusto.
Yeah, I wrote that.
It's actually said the Welsh way because Guinevere in Welsh is GWENHWYVAR. So it's Gwenhwyvar. And so, yeah, it's Guinevere Blackforge.
And to
when
her
you
as
send-
well, just to see if she's also coming and to apologise profusely.
So the first one is Ferus, and Ferus says, "Yes, I am at the crater site at the moment, which I believe, according to our previous theories, was where this strange split, this rift between worlds was. And yet it is not the only one that I am aware of. I can feel more around me. But this one now is completely gone. I believe the next was in the city, and apparently I've missed the party over there, yes?
I can't reply to that. I don't have any more spell slots left.
Sure. And he just kind of shrugs his shoulders, carries on collecting samples, and speaking to this rather nice, if strangely clothed, archaeologist. So you connect with Gwenhwyvar, and she says, "Hey, yeah, absolutely. I'm all packed up and I'm ready to go. I've sold all the bits that I can't bring with me. The rest I've packed into the workshop, and the workshop's on the cart, and off we go, I guess. I should be with you sometime late tomorrow."
Farewell just smiles and then joins the rest of his friends at the bar. He goes, you caught him. Well done. See, I told you this is the best festival. I mean, look how happy everybody is. I mean, everybody's glowing stupid colours. How can you not be having a good time?
It's definitely very
I was
colorful.
so close. I was so close to not
Well-
having any colors.
Yeah, you were.
Then you'd be
and-
drab and grey. When you could have
And
glitter in your
boring.
eye, you know.
Yeah, and wow, you're really. How many of those have you had?
What? No, I got
Yeah, that's
glitter
what I
in my
thought.
face. I'm fine.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. The
This is just
Yeah,
normal.
sorry.
I didn't get strong ones. If you want a strong one, well, we can get a strong one, but
No, I have a feeling that we're going to need our wits about us tomorrow because we've not seen Glory in a good couple of hours, and that can usually mean one of two things, and none of them.
She did get a coin, so my guess is that
I think Glory's spending the evening doing glory, if you know what I mean. I mean, not doing glory, doing, well, you know.
She's doing something with Glory.
Just found glory.
In
I
your
don't
head,
know.
Eowyn says, "There's a phrase where I come from, Cora. This shovel only digs down. Stop talking."
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. Now I follow. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah. No, because we promised, if I remember rightly, that when we would go find some of this Duradan stuff for Eclipse, if I remember.
Yeah, we should. Like,
That's the-
let's,
Yes.
I've had enough of abyssals and stuff. Let's do something relatively simple. Find some jars. Break jars. Find stuff. Something like that. Kind of like that.
I remember there was a Brave
I
Adventure that had a bit of an obsession with breaking jars. I don't think we should follow in his footsteps. Nothing
Okay.
ever good came of that.
Fine. Don't break jars. Find jars. Give jars to cat. Talking of cats, we have to find a cat tomorrow.
Yes.
We have to find the cat.
Why do we have
yes,
to find a
that-
cat? Why do we have to find a cat?
Do you remember the talking cat?
You remember the cat that we?
I'm well
talking
aware
cat
of
that
the
we
talking cat. Yeah. Why do we have to find the cat?
The talking cat that you kidnapped.
The
Just
talking.
the cat. That cat.
Did I kidnap or did Cora kidnap?
are
I
over
can't
there.
remember.
I
No,
didn't.
it was
Cora and
me.
Eclipse.
Cora and
That was
Eclipse
it.
and
was
Glory
it.
kidnapped the cat
That
while
was
you
it.
were with I.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are we stealing?
We're not stealing
cat.
the
I
cat. We're
thought
going
the
to go
cat was
talk
fine.
to the cat. The cat wanted to go home. The cat is a knight. Is a hedge knight. He should go home.
The cat.
The cat.
The cat.
I love
I
the
mean,
fact she's stone
I can't-
cold sober, but sounding drunk just by telling the truth.
But okay, and he just points at Eclipse and goes,
Nope.
but
Not
Is
that
it-
cat.
no.
What?
No, not that kind of. No,
Not that cat.
that
Cat. You know, the talking cat who had attitude.
is a hedge knight.
I think so. My notes are over there. It's something like that. They're important and they need to go home. They wanted to go home anyway, although they did like being
Yeah,
a
I know
cat.
they wanted to go home, but how are they not?
They're like me
It's just-
somehow.
I don't understand.
I don't understand either.
He
Are
just
they
sort of
from
looks
the
at Eclipse and
Feywild?
goes, "Does this make any sense to you?"
Yes, because the cat told us it was from the Feywild. So I assume, is it from the Summer Court?
I think so. Yeah, that's what the general said. The general said they were looking for them. So I guess I find the cat.
Right.
I don't know. I'm assuming that when we find the cat, somehow the guys will know and the thing, or they'll open a door. Last time, when I threw the dust on that demon, they just seemed to appear and take him away. So maybe that's how the cat gets home. We just find them again.
And throw dust on him, and then he gets taken away.
Well, the only dust I have is dust of choking, and I don't think that would be nice. I did nearly throw that
Yes.
at Eclipse earlier, which would have been bad. Sorry.
Yeah,
there was
I'm
a lot of
glad you
bags of
didn't.
dust. Well, there was a lot of bags of dust going about, and I did nearly get confused. But don't worry, the
Have you
sneezing,
ever been
choking
in a
one is here.
conversation that you're sure you're a part of, but like you feel like you're 4 or 5 steps behind everybody else? Like there was a whole point of this conversation you missed. Because
No,
that's kind of where
often.
I am.
Don't worry about it. Here, just take the drink. Drink the drink. Tomorrow we're looking for a cat. Not that cat, a different cat. That's all you need to know.
Okay. So the tomorrow's plans.
And we should maybe find Iden
find a
and
cat.
apologize.
Oh no, you won't find
He's
Iden.
probably.
You won't find him at all.
What?
No, you won't find him. He's gone.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
He's gone.
What do you mean he's gone? You killed him?
Where?
What the fuck?
Where is he?
Why would you go there?
Because you just said I won't find him. He's gone, and I don't know. I just.
How do you know? Where is he?
Yeah. What the hell?
Look, first of all, I'm not that good at disposing of a body. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
all right, but I'm not that good.
Wait, has he gone like he did in
second-
Scalra? He just
No,
left?
this is a different kind of gone. I
Okay,
think.
you were just
This
saying
is
how
more-
you were 10 steps behind on a conversation. Now I'm the same. What the fuck are you talking about? Start again. He's gone. Why? Where? How? How do you
Right.
know?
Okay. No, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he and or what's her name again? Olivia. Have left this plane. They're no longer on this plane of existence. Don't
What?
ask me which one that they've gone to. I mean, that's a little outside of my wheelhouse, but they're definitely not on this plane of existence.
How do you know this?
Oh, because I wanted to make sure that he was kind of okay, and I was a little bit toing and throwing that he was preparing to go anyway. He was doing that usual thing. You know what he's like? You know, the bit where he doesn't want to say goodbye because it's really upsetting, and he does that sort of like, I really like you guys, but I don't want to get upset because it's really hard, and he sort of distances himself, and so I thought I'd just check in and see what he was doing, and pray to God I didn't see anything that I then need to wipe my own memory of.
Yeah, you thought about doing that tonight was a good idea? Wow. Farewell. Really, tonight. Not a
You're
good
very
idea.
brave, Farewell. Very brave man.
They were literally holding hands, and what did you expect to happen tonight? Okay, anyway, carry on.
I'm pretty sure I could have switched it off before I saw anything untoward, but
probably not.
that's not the point. That's not the point.
It's a thing
No.
to to bear in mind. Anyway.
The spell didn't take, and the spell didn't take because he's not on this plane.
Canon notes for all viewers: both Aiden and Olivia are ace, so it didn't matter when he was looking. He would, if he saw them on the same plane of existence, he wouldn't be seeing that.
Well, the characters don't know that, so.
The characters don't know that. No one declared. Well, few people declare that they're ace to everybody and no one Sunday.
So he's gone, but I'm pretty sure he's safe. I mean, Olivia's
Probably fighting
damn tough, so if
liches,
anyone's gonna
so
look out
I
for
don't
him.
know how.
Well,
safe.
if he ever comes back here, he is dead.
Okay, yeah, so
I
he's
ever
safe.
see him again, he is dead.
I'm
In other
pretty
words,
sure
the cat
he
will kill him, have Farewell resurrect him, only to kill him again, and then resurrect him again.
Okay.
He
Until
has
he
to
has
be-
gone through at least 9 lives.
He has
Yes.
A, I don't have that many materials, and B, he has to be willing to come back. These are all key things about that spell.
The
Okay.
last one, knowing Aiden, would be the one that you won't be able to get past.
Yeah.
So yes.
So,
Okay.
look, he'll be fine. Look, he just doesn't like goodbyes. I don't like goodbyes either, and he'll be okay.
Yeah, he had his own
It's-
shit to deal with, I guess.
He should have still said goodbye.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be
Even if you don't like it, it doesn't matter. Doesn't
He
matter.
wouldn't. That's just who he is. Some people come in and out of your lives an awful lot. Some people stick around all the time. And some people are there for a short period of time and you never see them again.
Well, at least
Time will tell which one I did.
we gave him the presents, at least. That
Just
was...
still said goodbye.
Yeah.
Sulking cat is sulking.
Now, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't need to, as we said, you're gonna go kidnap the cats. We're gonna
okay,
go do
no.
some fun Juritan stuff.
Okay. Sure.
You are gonna kidnap a. You
No,
just
I'm
said.
not. I did
you
not.
Said
I
to me
never
you're gonna
said.
kidnap a cat.
Nope. I said talk to, and kidnap are very different things.
The last time I saw this cat, you had stolen him, took him into the Hawk of Harness, and threw him into your bedroom and locked the door.
It was
So couldn't
Eclipse's
get out.
bedroom,
Yes.
and your point being that I'm gonna do that to everyone I meet? No, we did it then. Doesn't mean I'm gonna do it every time I see the damn cat. Just thought I'd find the cat. Anyway, we don't have to. We can go find some jars. We'll see. Anyway, God, what time is it?
Late.
Is Bebop doing a set
It's a-
tonight?
When you say that out loud, they say, yeah, he's doing like a open air live show in the parade ground.
No,
As
we're in the wrong
just
place.
person
And I
walking up.
grabbed the two of them and steal a drink. And we just run out the door.
Farewell does that like toddler thing of like he doesn't really want to go because he just doesn't get this Beeper's music, and he's sort of like, I don't want it.
Eclipse is very happily following.
All I can imagine is Farewell doing this kind of Kevin from Harry Enfield show, kind of like, do I have to kind of thing.
And we don't have to like we can cut to nighttime if you want, but
Yes.
I'm going to imagine that if it's a big crowded parade ground, then I'm gonna be asking Farewell to get the rug out, and we're gonna be up, get with our own balcony view, possibly with a few hanger-ons. Watching
that's
from
yeah,
the
in
carpet,
style. You've got your own
lying on
box.
top of it,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
jumping around like
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, so yeah.
And Farewell
I-
probably asleep on the corner.
That's a delight. There's this, you've got this open air festival. And you're like,
Yeah.
we got a flying carpet, bitches. We got the VIP.
Yeah.
I can't. Do you know what the sad thing is? I was like, there's no way that Farewell would actually have the carpet on him. Then and I was like, no.
Yeah, we can go get
No,
it though.
you know what these
We've been
people,
given
you know
a
what these
specific
people are
bag of
like.
holding for this.
No,
It
we
doesn't
can't.
fit in. You
It doesn't
told us
fit.
specifically.
No, you were given one in the. You were given one in the
Were
university when you were at university. She said, "Oh, we'll get you something for that," and they got you a bag that it actually fits.
Oh,
You've
I
got a
don't remember
carpet
that.
bag.
None of us remember
Oh!
that. But
No.
I have no memory, but I will say that
my word.
happened.
Episode 58 or 59, I can't
Oh.
remember which.
okay, I
Oh,
zoned
yeah.
out
Oh,
for that bit.
in that case, I
Either that
officially
or it's
absolved
in my notes
myself
and I
of
didn't
all-
get round to saying it. But yes, you've
Yeah.
been given a bag to hold your
bag to hold the
redunculously
whole-
huge carpet in.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, okay. Am I still carrying the carpet or not?
It's a small bag that you put on the floor like a portable hole, and you pull the carpet out of it.
Ooh.
So you
No,
can have
I'm
it.
saying
So
to
any of us can have it.
Eclipse, would I be still carrying the carpet or would you want it back?
I feel like Clips would
I
have
don't mind. Like you, I've been used to you carrying the carpet. So if you want to keep carrying the carpet, you're a designated
Okay.
Bob. So
Okay, I am officially that. Yeah, I'm carrying the carpet, and yes, Farewell is
He's not a
asleep
Bob,
on
he's
the
an
back
O,
of the carpet.
not flying it.
That's awesome.
Whilst he's not flying
Yeah,
it,
he's not
he is
flying it.
lying on the back of it asleep,
Yeah. Well, the rest of us. Are
Okay.
Like, yeah.
raving away, and he's just.
Love it.
So you enjoy a fantastic night. Beatber is on form. He ends up having a lot of people coming up and kissing him. And he spends the entire time just turning it into a joyful riot. And you go to sleep. The day passes, and finally, Sahastra has. Cora, when you fall asleep, you wake up. Well, not wake up, but you find yourself in the Feywild, in the middle of a beautiful garden, a summer garden. It is the summer court. There's always summer there, and you are walking through archways where beautiful, in full bloom, this beautiful blossom that's on some sort of trailing ivy completely covers these archways, and there's this lovely scent that just hits you. And each of these archways has a different coloured blossom on it, and different scents hit you as you pass underneath each of the archway. By the time you get to the end of it, some of them are so sweet, so saccharine, you're almost salivating. And there's a small courtyard in the middle of this this rather expansive garden. And you can see that the Summer King and Enola are sat eating what seems to be like a small tapas type arrangement. No big meal, but there's just bits to sample. and they are both drinking what seems to be a heady, floral, and kind of almost smelling of pollen wine. There's a warm smile from Enola, one that is full of, I guess, joy and comfort and some kind of pride. And she gestures to the chair in front of you. And the Summer King, stiff, not necessarily formal, but proud. There's something lion-like about him. Sat there, and as I say, he's this David Bowie type character, this flame red hair, this kind of pale but also kind of olive skin. There's a warm color to his skin, and these featureless orbs of light for eyes, dressed in reds and yellows and oranges. And they gesture to the chair on the other side of the table. He gives you a smile that seems more of a political smile. But then he looks over to Enola, and seeing her happy, you can see his body language lifts, and suddenly he's filled with this endless joy. You step up to the table, and wine is poured for you, and you have a family moment with the Summer King and his illegitimate daughter, but his beloved daughter. Now, if there's anything that you want to specifically say to either of them while you're there, then fine. But otherwise, it is a pleasant meal, small conversation, and you're sat next to your patron. You can feel the power washing over you, just cascading off the Summer King, and you're there thinking, is this for all warlocks? If so, lunches with, like, the elder ones must be really weird, but you just feel supercharged around who now is your king, and technically your father-in-law.
I don't have anything specific to say. I don't think. It's more just a silent kind of acknowledgement that he is allowing this, that he's started to chill to the idea or whatever. So, yeah.
You know that he's struggling with some parts of the socializing, and then there's other parts where the extreme nature, actually I'll say extremist nature, but not in the way that you normally use the word, that something amusing is said, and suddenly he bellows out laughing without control, without restraint. This huge, explosive belly laugh. There's a moment where Enola is recounting a tale of intrigue, and suddenly he seems like some infatuated child listening to a bard. Suddenly his body language is over the table. Yeah, and what happened next, kind of thing. You can see that because the attachment of emotions, this true fae, yeah, this is the Summer King. He is a being that is very alien to all mortals. He hasn't got any restraint, and you can see this throughout the meal. I'm not going to act out the entire meal with you. I'm just going to describe your observations, because it is just small talk. It's beautiful, it's pleasant, lovely. And after everything that you've been through, just suddenly having this strange, otherworldly family moment. There's some tugs at the heartstrings. You know why. But you start to study the Summer King more and get to know a bit more about your patron, and you realize his power comes from this extreme nature to harness rage, passion, joy, obsession. This is everything that he is. He doesn't have gears as such. He can't kind of go up a gear and down a gear. It's all or nothing for him. and you watch as this erraticism happens for his behavior.
I was just thinking, one thing definitely that I will be talking about / regaling to Enola at least is all of the shenanigans of the evening.
Yes.
And
You are glowing, but they don't comment on it.
okay.
And some of
I
the
probably
Fae
do.
that you've
I'd
seen,
probably be like,
you know why.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I'd probably fit in just a bit more. And one question I might ask, when I get on to the fact that Farewell telling us that Aiden has left the plane of existence, and the fact that we're in the Feywilds, which is a different plane, I will probably be quizzing Enola, because I don't want to directly ask the king, but basically whether or not, considering they seem to be able to monitor what I'm up to some of the time, like if they can monitor what happens on other planes, and if maybe they can see where Aiden is and if he's okay, if he willingly left and all that. So I will ask that.
The king turns around and says, I only see what you see, Cora. I have the power to be able to look into other planes of existence, but I do so through my agent and through my mean. And when he says mean, it's spelled M-I-E-N. I feel the greatest of passions, the fiercest of anger, the greatest obsessions. I occasionally see your friend Eclipse. I see all of them as a great sea of those that I provide. I provide this emotion, this drive, just by existing. I am who I am. And so I can see through them when they are connected to me. Glimpses. It's not a perfect system. I can see through you all the time due to our bond. And I can see through any of my other agents.
Yeah, it was worth asking. Hopefully he's okay.
Is it of particular importance?
No, not specifically. He left before. He has his own stuff he needs to do. It's just
if you
he
don't
just
leave
left
him in
and...
danger, he will his own path.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we're gonna see him again.
From what I've seen, he'll take care of himself.
Yeah.
I must admit, I like the brashness of the boy.
Yeah. He doesn't like being helped necessarily. I think it'll be fine.
We kind of skipped over it a little bit, but when you recount what happened in the Festival of Sahastra, the Summer King was transfixed, loved every detail, and when you would mention one part that would amuse him, the laugh almost deafens you. Your ears almost hurt.
Yeah. This is nice.
He shows, when you say this is nice and you show a form of warmth, he turns to you, puts his hand on your shoulder, at which point you currently feel like you're level 20 as he puts his hand on your shoulder. And he goes, you have sworn fealty to me. You are the heart's guard for my daughter. Your family now. He removes his hand and you go back to your regular level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. I give Enola a kind of look like, whoo.
Yeah.
Like I just took a really big
kind of
shot
like,
of
you had
a
the wish
very
bar
alcoholic
for-
drink. Like, yeah.
Yeah, for a short period of time you had a 9th level. The rest of the dream goes on incredibly well. the Summer King excuses himself for a few affairs of state, but also a few affairs of dealing with his nature. When people come to him with things that anger him, he goes off and you hear something being broken in another part of the garden. And there are times when he just needs to go and kind of deal with who he is. And you realize that the Summer King, for all of his power, for this incredible font of power that he is, has limitations and things that he has to deal with. No power comes without it. You wake up refreshed. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, you can carry on. I was just realizing that we had this month-long break, or we had a break, and it was never talked about. But in theory, I was reading that book. Have I got through it at all, or am I through it at a bit? Because I can't remember the details of how long it takes. It takes 30 days.
I think it takes 30 days to read it. So
have I read
I
it,
think
or
it's
am I
only
close?
40 hours, Simon.
Is it 40 hours?
I think it's 40 hours if it's the skill book, yeah.
Sure. So the skill book,
But
you've
if I
read
read it
through
once
it,
tonight-
increase your skill by 2. Yeah.
Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy to let it be a thing.
Yeah. No, you've done it. Yeah. Yes, it's 40 hours. Either way, the downtime was kind of like, yeah, she's going to read the book during this time.
Right, and
So
that was
you've
a
read the book?
charisma thing.
Yeah, your charisma is up by 2.
So I can add. I don't know if it'll just work.
22.
There we go. Done. 22. Woo!
Yeah.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Sorry, I just realised it would
That
get
was a
forgotten
lucky
about.
roll on a random table.
Yeah. Yep.
So, you said you were reading the other book, The Shattered Glass.
So I was, sorry, I didn't grab my freaking notes, which are over there. But basically, I was going to talk to. We never, because that session we weren't actually around, and we sort of like skipped over a bunch of stuff. But the idea was that I was going to probably talk through with Farewell and maybe the others, like the books that I did find and what I found in that room, and probably not the.
Let's go read it.
Not the Fey Heritage one. And actually, that's maybe what I would do in the dream, is talk to the Summer King about whether he wants this book that I got for him.
He says yes, if you don't mind. I mean, I just
I don't know
needed
how.
her not to.
Right. So I don't know, like, because I'm in a dream in theory, so I don't know if I have my item, like, but he can have the book however he collects it.
I can get I can get Awen to bring it here if I.
Yeah.
But would you like it? I just needed her not to have it. As long as you promise not to give it back to Renata, you can keep it for your own library.
I mean, it's fascinating. I mean, I'll happily look after it until
add
you
it
need
to your own library. I think it would be a wonderful idea.
Okay. Can I show others, or is it private?
As long as it's not Renata or anybody from her organization, your party.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, and so we would have started to explore it, but maybe I don't know whether it's more interesting to do that as we go along, or whether there's just something in it that you wanted to tell us. But it doesn't have to be a big thing.
Well, for the Fey peerage, you now have effectively double proficiency on any history checks to do with the Fey.
Oh, okay. So so that does add
That's
something.
what that book gives you. Yeah. So if ever you're doing Fey history, I will tell you to do a history check with double proficiency. But I'll remember that. You don't need to do it anyway.
Okay, cool.
The final one is the Shattered Glass. So do me an intelligence check, and I guess it's an investigation.
D&D
check.
Beyond's back up and running again, which was nice because it died on me earlier. Oh, I'm a halfling. Ones mean nothing to me. Oh, but a 7 isn't much better. 7 in a normal. What was it? Intelligence check. Just a check.
Intelligence or investigation?
Well, investigation's better, so I will say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. Okay. You read through most of this book over the course of a month, and you're making notes and things like that, and you realize after a while that you So first of all, the content of the book. The book seems to be written as a fiction. It is a fictional story about a time traveler who has to escape persecution by stepping through time. And those that they that are pursuing them is capable of moving through time as well, or at least existing in many places in time at the same time. You're not quite sure. It kind of the plot twists and turns a bit, and they try to get back whenever they can to see one person in the whole of existence, because they love that person. Yeah, and as a result, they end up having this very strange. And when I wrote this, I'd never even heard of the time travelers. This is something I wrote a long time ago. But it is effectively a time traveler's wife. So from the viewpoint of the non-time traveler, of the lover, they will be meeting this person, and they will be like a year younger, 4 years older, 6 years younger, as each of the scenes goes ahead. And it's told from the viewpoint of the lover, and you realize that you would have to kind of unpick the book and put it in the viewpoint of the time traveler to have it make more sense. And you're like, oh god, I'm gonna have to be sat here with maybe even having to tear the book up and put the pages in the right order or whatever, or get somebody to rewrite it in the right order. And so you kind of note down your notes and things, and you get a feeling with a 10 that this is written in some form of code or hyperbole, where there's a story hidden beneath the story.
I will, because if I've taken a month to do that and read the other book and stuff, I will probably be talking about it with Farewell, but he's got his other stuff for that month, so, and the other guys, like I say. But I will be saving that for another time of this is another mystery to be solved that we can piece together as we go along. Because do I get
Farewell's the right person to recruit?
Yeah, do I get a feeling that it potentially is because I got it from Renata and the whole time travel type thing she seems to be involved in, that this maybe is actually a true story written in the guise of fiction?
It's too convenient not to think that.
Yeah. All right. That might. So yeah, I will mention it to the others that this may help us in our figuring out who exactly this woman is.
Okay. After that, sorry, not after that, because that's throughout the month. But the next day, you wake up refreshed. I believe that you wanted to hunt a cat.
Well,
So is Glory back?
I think when we meet up for breakfast, yeah, I was going to say, when we meet up for breakfast, assuming whenever Glory does her walk of triumph back to the Hawk Gardens, that we
Glory
can
never
decide
does
as to whether or not.
Brunch,
I
but
said-
yeah, sure.
I said a walk of triumph. For,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
she has made a great conquest and should celebrate.
Walk of shame means that you have to not have immunity to shame.
Good morning.
Sure.
Morning, Dory. Morning, Dory.
Good morning.
Oh. Hi. Have a good night.
Naughty walks
I
past
guess
and
your
says,
night was very good then. I guess your night was very good
Very
then.
very much good. I believe a mutually beneficial relationship has begun.
Oh.
Are you
Remember,
gonna
guys
tell
don't
us
know
who
where
it
she
is?
went.
No. Are you gonna tell us who it is?
In time.
I'm just going to roll insight on that comment. Because knowing Glory as Farewell does, the mutually beneficial usually causes him to break out in some form of hives. 20. How worried should Farewell be about the fact that you said mutually beneficial relationship?
Oh, as far as you're concerned, whoever Glory has slept with is equally powerful and probably influential as Glory is aiming to be.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, Farewell just goes back to his breakfast and gets very quiet.
Considering the
Should we be
alternative you
worried,
got off lightly.
Farewell? Should we be worried, Farewell?
Yes.
Oh, don't worry. Besides, I got some good information out of it.
Oh, good.
Confirmed a few of our
You
theories.
saying don't worry doesn't really fill me with confidence.
Eh,
I
nothing
did
will.
get a few clues about some of those Jordan things for you.
Oh,
Ah, there you go. We were just wondering what we should do.
What was it? What?
So, the one in the tower is a problem because it has unstable portals that shift. So we're gonna have to be careful not to get split up there.
Okay, not that one first.
Yes, let's leave.
Anything else?
There was something about traps as well.
Okay, not that
Yes,
one
there
either.
were- Yeah, we'll have to wait about those two a little bit. I think just give the idea of how to combat portals to your wizard friend, and he'll figure it out.
Alright,
Other
yes.
than that, my darling Cora, I have some information about a mine you've been looking into.
Oh.
Yes, the mine collapse. Apparently, there was a rift to the abyss inside the mine, which is where they found the red residuum.
Oh.
Yes, quite concerning, really. Because it means that the Institute scheme started approximately 3 years ago.
Oh no, that started. If it's the collapse that I'm thinking of, it started a longer time ago than that.
Oh, maybe that is then, because I did not
Glory,
remember the date properly.
I'll clear this up. So, 3 years ago was where the institute started,
Oh,
and also there was something like 3 years ago when Cora's incident happened. Or was it a
that was when
or was it a year
the
ago?
3
No,
years ago.
that was
And
only a
then
year
mine
ago.
collapsed.
That was only a year ago. So
Farewell and I know each
the
other 2
timeline,
years.
I may have
Year
messed
ago.
up. So a rift was found in Ola Soraka's mine. Well, I say it's
Yeah.
her. She was the administrator for the mine. Then after that, they started experimenting on the residuum. Then the institute was formed.
Right.
In between all that, as they were experimenting with the stuff they could still get from the mine, which was concurrent to that, that's when the mine had some accidents, including the one that killed Cora's father.
Right. So I will relay
And
that.
you know that because you got the role. Yeah.
Because
Mm.
the mine happened. Maths like Tara was 11, and she's 23 now.
Yeah, it took them a while to
Wow.
learn how to refine
Yeah.
it and get the technology. So they've been at this for some time.
Yes.
But the institute was only a recent thing because they had got the breakthrough. So if you think about it, the parallel would be Marie Curie realizing the potential for uranium and the huge amount of time it took to actually get to doing stuff with it.
So are we? Am I getting the impression then that the idea is they found a rift and collapsed the mine to stop the whatever was coming through the rift?
Oh, no. They kept sending people in to make sure that it looked like the mine was fully functional, while actually they were just harvesting the rift.
And the rift destabilized the mine and was causing the tremors.
Yes.
So
It was the
so-
rift that caused the collapse.
Oh, okay. The rift. So there was actually a collapse. So I'm trying to figure this out through Simon and thing. So
Yes.
Okay.
So there was a
So
collapse?
let me do it in summary because that'll be easier for you to follow.
Just to figure out.
So the story that you've pieced together so far is that a long time ago, when your father was still working in the mine, Ola Soraka and her crew found a rift deep within the mine. When they got mages and the Duke's forces to start exploring the rift, they found red residuum on the other side, which was created from a demon that had been obliterated by a spell. They started using their form of technology, because you can do things like identify on remains and find out what spell killed them. Little known use of identify. And they started researching backwards and retrofitting how to do this. It took quite a few years, and during that time, they were still harvesting the red residuum from the mine to be able to continue their experiments. As they were doing so, it destabilized the rift, and it caused tremors within the mine. They had people going into the mine, including your father, at that time, to make the mine look like it was mining the gold that was at a higher level. As your father was trying to harvest a mostly mined out gold seed just to look like they were doing something. He didn't know that at the time, of course. He was just sent in there and told to find more gold. One of these shockwaves came out of the rift, caused a mine collapse, killed your father, and a bunch of other people. And after that, they put it down to a simple mine accident, which nobody believed. None of your lot believed in Freetown. And they carried on using the rift. They got a breakthrough a few years ago on how to use this red residuum and how to harvest it from demons. And that's where the Institute started.
Right.
Then you came along, totaled the Institute.
Okay, so from what we
Blew it
hear,
up.
that rift could still be within the mine.
Oh, it's still there. They haven't managed to close it as it keeps ripping.
All right.
Anyway, I
It's
have
not a
one
problem.
more.
I can close that.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, I have one more thing, but this is better said in private, I think. Meet me up in my room in 5. I need to change my clothes anyway.
Who do you look at when you say that?
All of you.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
My brain tuned out. What did you say?
We gotta go and we're going upstairs in a moment. Private
all right.
conversation.
I turn to Cora and go, I've got a friend coming that might be able to help us with this rift thing. We've just got to figure a way to find out how to get into that mine.
Yeah.
Oh, who?
That's not gonna be easy. They're
You know, and he doesn't even look at Eclipse, he just points at her and goes, you know him pretty well, Ed.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Raoul.
Yes, roll.
I reckon if we can get in there,
Raoul Farus.
I'm pretty sure I can close these things now, but he can find them. I can't do that yet. Yeah.
well. Okay. Should we do that now? I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
One
when
thing
the
at a
next-
time. He's got
yeah.
to get here first. So.
Well, oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
And if we maybe yeah, I don't know. Let's
And plus,
find some jars. I don't really
yeah,
want to deal
the
with more
distraction
rifts
will
right
do us
now.
good.
It's clearly been around for years, so it's not as dangerous as the ones that
Over a
were opened.
decade.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or it's really, really bad, and by
Nope,
uncorking
nope,
the bottle,
let's-
we could doom
let's-
us all.
nope, let's
So,
not think- yeah.
anyway, it's been about 5 minutes. I think we should go talk to Glory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I grab
yes,
a
let's
fistful
do
of bacon and head upstairs.
Pocket bacon. Yeah. Need
Always.
pocket bacon. So,
Best. Alrighty, guys. So, I got some more information. Say, Cora, would the sudden acquirement of powerful magical abilities such as just throwing force out of your hands after a tragic accident ring any bells?
What did you do?
What are you talking about? What do you mean? I've told you about that.
Yes. Well,
Yes,
I
warlock stuff.
yes. So, remember the issues we had with the Duke's son? Well, turns out
You mean
that
the tentacle?
yes, turns out that years ago he set out to sea in the middle of a storm. Well, the boat turned up days later, destroyed, but he turned up just an hour after setting out.
Right.
With the sudden
Right.
ability to do things he could not beforehand, and, well,
He
There's
is now
some-
with Cthulhu. Eclipse says
there
that.
is a
She's
chance.
heard of Cthulhu, and she thinks that this is it.
What?
Fucking hell.
There is a chance he has a deal with the Kraken.
Oh, shit.
And
So, not only do we have abyssals to deal with and extra planar problems, we now have old ones that we now have to deal with.
Do we have to deal with
well,
I mean,
Essentially.
does it matter?
I'm
He's got a
slightly.
shrine to the old one just outside of the city.
Yeah, but does it matter?
He is the heir to this city.
Oh, and
With him
Yeah.
gaining
worried that
power after his father's
Gone
death.
glories.
Well, the city will basically be in the
Right,
power of the old ones.
I get you. Yeah, okay, that's a problem.
What? You know when you said I should always trust my feelings. I mean, it is never good information. You never come around and go, "Oh, farewell! I found this amazing bakery that you would really enjoy." Or, "Oh, farewell! I found this wonderful new book on surgery that you should really read." It's always, "No, hey, farewell! Look, I found another elder god thing that you have to,
Well,
come help me
If
deal
you'd
with."
rather do that, I do know quite a few good bakeries here in the city, and Rachel has some contacts that could get us into a really
Rachel?
good private library of one of the bigger doctors here in town.
Yeah.
Rachel,
I was literally talking about
the,
books to you the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
and
the-
to be fair, Glory has been lending her her books to us. We've been reading them. You know, the really racy ones.
Those two.
Plus, you're not the only one who has to deal with this elder god thing or whatever, Cthulhu. Like, you're not alone, remember?
Cthulhu.
I'm not. I know I'm not alone. However, and he summons the knife into his hand. If it's anything like the last time, there's more people trying to kill me.
Yes.
That
I'm
is
not
very
used
true.
to it like she is.
Just so you
But-
guys know, I suspected as much, but not even legend lore will tell us anything about Renata. Though it was quite fascinating to be under the spell.
Legend lore?
To be the person who knows the most about
How?
that woman, I feel truly special at this moment.
And
yes.
Farewell has one of his moments where he suddenly scoots forward and goes, "How did you cast that? You don't know divinity."
Oh, I didn't. My lovely companion last night had a goblet with it. Just drink out of it, and once a month you can use legend lore.
Simon, can
This
I
is
do some
huge.
sort of intelligence check or something that because I've been around the Thieves Guild and stuff. Is this quite a famous artifact I know Emmanuel has?
You know, the second that she points out that she's drunken from a goblet of lore, it's not so much your connection with the Thieves Guild, but general knowledge of legend and your knowledge of the arcane in general, and I would say
And
this also
artifacts as
extends-
well.
Yeah, and this also extends to Farewell, actually. Both of you know that something like this, it's not even someone's life's work. It's like an organization's generational work to make this goblet.
Okay.
And
Would I...
even if you don't know there's two in existence, it's probably the number you'd guess.
Okay.
Could you
And
introduce
I would guess it's the fucking Thieves Guild leader, because who else would it fucking be?
I told
You
you,
don't
it
know?
was
Okay.
mutually beneficial.
Renata,
It
But
it
you
be
could
the,
introduce me, right?
Archmagister of the university.
You
That
get
too.
it.
but
Could have been
like,
a dwarf on. What can I say?
I have
I-
seen
Although,
I've
let's be
seen
honest,
Glory eyeing
Glory
up
has
like the very hot figure of Emmanuel, which we have seen, and we've
No,
seen
no,
them do some
and
hot
to be
eye
fair-
contacts.
And to be fair, Glory tends to go for the very tall ones. You know, I'm sure she has a moment for the stout and stocky, but tall seems to be her current MO at least. But
Yeah.
you can give me an introduction. I want to see this.
We'll see how it continues first, but let's just say it was an delightful evening.
Okay.
Glory, I'm doing like a little bit of mental maths here of who could have that kind of artifact, and I'm landing on a very few select people.
I work on the
I know,
basis
my
And
that
dear.
like thinking of the people that would have it and the people that you would want to be with, there's only like one person left.
I imagine she's called Rachel.
Oh no, not Rachel.
Rachel?
Rachel is from the what's it called? It's the
The Companions Guild.
Companions is the one I was looking for. She's from the Companions Guild, the leader, you know. She's a
So,
lovely
was it-
lady, one of my best friends here in the city.
So was it
Yes.
Rachel that had the goblet, or was it somebody else that had the goblet? Because you
Oh
know.
no, somebody else.
Okay, so that
Farewell.
one you can introduce us.
Who in the city would be very famous for having a large collection of very rare artifacts and frequently find more artifacts?
Well,
I have
probably
worked
about
with
5
these
or 6
people.
people. There's probably about 5 or 6 people in the city that could be something so specifically general to that.
Sherlock
I
Holmes
know what
Catties
you're
on
trying
the
to get at.
face.
I know what you're trying to get at, and
I am
if we need to
dingling
be
a
worried, she would
fucking
be-
Fred
we'd
in
be
front of a cliff and watching her bad at it.
it's Glory, there's no need to pretend. It's Emmanuel, isn't it?
Yes, she was quite lovely.
That I am
Okay.
very impressed that you managed to be with her. Simon, would I have heard any of her history with the Drow? Consider I worked with the Thieves Guild before.
Is this Corinne bringing knowledge from the other campaign?
She
I'm asking
is,
if I
but
would-
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
No.
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 Okay.
You didn't
That's
hear
fine.
of that. It was a pretty
That's fine.
high chance, a pretty low chance that you would know. But yeah, Corinne knows of a previous bit of lore, but it doesn't affect this campaign.
It's trivia. It's like flavor knowledge. But anyway, very well done, Glory. Yes, Farewell, we should be very afraid that the Queen of Thieves and Glory is now together.
Actually, that's not as bad as I thought it was. If I'm completely honest with you, that is like not tame in like any way, shape, or form. But on the scale of like what we've just been dealing with, that's on the far left of normal, and I'm much more comfortable with that. It was the other direction that I was terrified that we would go. For her
What direction was that?
Well, she likes to make deals, and considering that we've just found that there's a greater, she's just told us about a greater old one. I was kind of expecting her to go, oh, and I met them, and now we're
Oh,
friends.
no. Not that bad. I just...
I just had a quick chat with Cthulhu. It was very informative.
Well, I'm sure they would have a lot to say, but no, not for me. Ugh.
So you were
Besides,
saying
I
that
told you I was after someone who could handle themselves in Scalra, and that doesn't leave a lot of people.
just do me a favor and just make sure that, she doesn't slip a knife between your ribs between now and when you bring her home to introduce her to Mum and Dad.
Oh, I'm sure that won't happen. I can hand myself farewell.
Anyway,
I'm
should
not
we
saying
go
that you
find the
can't.
cat?
I thought we were going to go
Why
find
are
the
we looking
jars
for the
first.
cat?
No,
I don't know. They keep saying something
We're
about
waiting
a
for
hedge.
the...
It's like a 5-minute job. We go and find the cat.
to be honest,
The jars is session.
Well,
Yes, the
Yes.
jars are next session.
well, they are, but like we have 4 minutes. So how about we start to head off towards jars? Because then
Head
we'll
off
arrive.
and
Or
set
how
sail.
quick?
Well,
How quick
we've
is the
been
cat
in the city
thing,
for
Simon?
months and we haven't seen the cat. If we spot the cat, tell me. Or let's wander. Wait a minute. Let's
Farewell
the cat.
nudges Cora in the ribs and goes,
Ah,
I thought you could scry now. I mean, I didn't spend like hours talking with you about how the mechanics of that works for you not to then go and use it. And if I remember rightly, you're pretty good at getting your spells back quick.
I mean,
yes,
you
fine.
could
I could.
you could scry,
Try
or
that.
we could go and look at the hay bale where we last saw him, because I don't
Why
think
don't we?
he's
Why
very
don't
keen
we
on moving.
scry and then we can go find him from there? I mean, come on, what have we got to lose? It takes 10 minutes.
Okay,
And
Get
we
packing.
could do it quite quickly.
you get packing. I'm gonna try this whole scrying thing, and then
Oh,
if
I wonder if I still have my sea boots here. Don't want
Now-
to get water on these sandals. That would just ruin the fabric.
Are we going to see
Fair point. Now, remember,
what?
breathe. It's
Going
all about
good.
your breathing.
Yeah.
You've got to be very controlled. And just...
Farewell, can you make us water breed?
Seriously, are we going underwater? Is this where the jars are? The next jar?
No, we're not supposedly going underwater, but
It might happen. After all, they said something about a crypt underneath a piece of island under a temple or something.
Oh boy.
So, excuse me if I'm a bit worried about it being flooded.
Yeah. Okay. Bring some sensible
It's
shoes.
been like 1,000 years or something.
Okay.
I can make us walk on water, and I can also be pretty good at controlling it. I don't think I can make us breathe it.
Well, let's hope we won't need that then.
Wisdom save 19, Simon, for the cat.
Okay.
I don't know.
You
if,
reach out to the cat, and as you reach out to it, you've met it before. Well, him specifically before. You remember a little something from the cat's backstory, in that it was a face spirit that was called upon to a conjure animals spell, and the caster was killed before completing the spell, so it turned up but didn't have the part of the spell that allows it to go back when it dies. And as you reach for it with the scrying spell, you realize that there is a form of thread that as you're reaching out for it through the ether, there's like this thread attached to it. And as you lock on to the cat, there's this sudden purring sound at your feet. And you open your eyes, and the cat is at your feet.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's not how
All
scrying
right.
is meant to work. I did it wrong. Farewell. Hello.
No, I think think you did that better than anybody's ever done that before, because you're supposed to go to it once you scryed. It doesn't usually come to you. That's really cool. You're gonna have to tell me what
Hello,
you did.
friend. Do you remember us?
What was it, Kitty?
You've done it again.
You kidnapped the cat again.
I didn't. He came here.
How-
I didn't do this. Hi. Sorry. I was just trying to find out where you were, and you're here. So I found
Oh.
out.
You somehow summoned. Oh.
What?
Looks straight at you, and you watch as the cat kind of steps back, lowers its front legs, bows its head, and says, "Lady Knight,
What?
sister in arm. I see you've been touched by the Summer King."
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm.
Wow.
Kind
You know
of
that
right.
you're a knight now.
Yeah. Language, guys. Jesus, you didn't mean it like that. That would. Yeah. I hear you're also important there. You wanted to go home, right?
I'm a knight patron spirit. I'm of the same order.
Well, they'd like you home if you want to go.
Well, as I told you before, it's been an enjoyable existence, but all good things must come to them. Does my king call for me?
I didn't speak directly to
It's
the
the general,
king.
wasn't it?
The general did mention you.
Oh, Amala. Yes. Yes, I should imagine she... Oh, I'm rather pleased that she asked for me by name. I mean, the last time we worked together, she rode me into battle.
As a cat?
Freezing.
I thought Faye were larger than that.
That's your sin, not mine.
Yeah, Fellow does the whole like.
Oh, we are so stupid as a party.
Yep. Okay. Oh, okay. That's hard to imagine, but great.
Yeah, 6.5 foot of, burning-eyed,
Yeah. And this cat.
warrior fae, and you have a mostly black tabby in front of you.
I like Eclipse imagines it like, you know, the Night Stalkers from World of Warcraft, like those big like saber-tooth tigers that you ride. That's what I'm imagining.
It's like
Yeah,
like
what I'm
He-Man when the cat
expecting is
turns
a bit
into the
like
really
He-Man.
like,
Yeah, He-Man, Battle Cat. Yeah.
goes from
That
timid
works
cat into
too.
big battle cat. That shows our age.
Yeah, that does actually. We are of a generation.
Yeah, well, yeah, they mentioned, I don't personally know how to send you home, but maybe they just needed, maybe whatever I just did by finding you severed whatever was holding you here, and you can just go home? Maybe? I don't know.
Well, you've kind of got the means to do so now. You
Me?
summoned me.
Oh,
Yes. When you reached out to me, you reached out to me with the power of the king. I'm connected to him once more.
great. I hope that's what you want.
can go back now.
Well, it's been an interesting life.
Yeah,
Will
you
Will
said
we
you
see
liked
you
being
again,
Mittens.
Mr. Kitty?
You were Mittens, right?
I did.
Yeah, Mittens. Yeah, his name is Mittens.
And I was a very good mitten. But
Well, you can always be Mittens to me.
now, I'd like that. It may confuse some of the Fae, but that is a bonus. As
What
far as I'm
doesn't
concerned.
confuse them, really? Like,
I scratched a cat behind the ear.
He
cat
kind of looks at,
scratching a cat.
he
Oh,
looks
yes.
at you, glares at you, narrows his eyes, and then purrs.
Yes,
And
I
then
know. This is the best.
He turns to you all and says, "For the rest of you, you can call me Flamestalker."
Wow.
If you say so,
Mittens.
Mr. Kitty.
Mr.
Well, that went
Mittens.
from like 1 to like 11, didn't it? Very, very quick.
Flame Stalker Mittens. Nice
Flame
to
Stalker business.
properly meet you. Well, we're off on a trip, so I wish you all the best on yours, and maybe we'll see each other either in this realm or the other.
To dismiss me, rather than killing this form, I would find that slightly stressful.
Oh, I
I'd
don't
be
want to do
mortal
that.
for a little while. No, you don't have to.
Good.
Just close your eyes.
Oh. You ready?
Eowyn, if you don't mind, just a moment would be enough. And Eowyn goes, "Of course, Flamestalker."
Okay.
She flies up to Cora's face, focuses for a second, and a flash of powder goes over Cora's face. Cora, you feel woozy for a second, and you're sent to sleep for like a millisecond. As you do so, there's
Am I like
this
a puppy
sudden
that's like,
eruption of... Yep, very much so. That's all they see. What they see is you just momentarily falling asleep. What happens to you is that you close your eyes, there's an eruption of light, and suddenly you're racing through the forests of the summer forest on the back of a giant panther with flaming eyes and smouldering embers under its fur. Holding on to the fur for dear life. This thing is about twice the size
Mittens!
of it's
Mr.
about the size of a
Kitty.
Siberian tiger, yeah? And as I say, seems to have 4 skin. It seems to have embers, like it's an elemental of some kind. But then on top of that, there's this bed of sleek black fur. And you hear this bestial voice saying, "Thank you, Sakura. You and I will fight again in this form." And as you look around, you can see you're holding this big fiery lance. And you're wearing
That's
what
pretty
seems to be
fucking
Chevalier armor. And so yeah, you've got Chevalier armor, you've got a jousting shield, you've got a fiery lance, and you just hear the words, "Till we meet again," and you suddenly go, and you're back in the room.
Oh wow. Oh. Okay. Flamestalker is awesome. I'll tell you. I need to
Did
draw
you-
that.
Ooh.
What? Wow.
I need you to notice note something down in your notes, Cora, and that is that you now add to your available spells
Oh.
conjure. I think it's conjure animals.
Ooh.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Conjure animals. I
so-
might be able to just do that then.
Let me click
Can
the
I add it
notes.
now, or is this a thing for later? Because I can put it in D&D now, probably.
You have access to 3rd level spells, yes?
Yeah, she.
yes.
Well,
Yeah,
her
I'm-
2 spell slots are technically 2 5th level spell slots.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so
yes.
she will cast
Yeah.
Conjure Animals at 5th level, which means you can have 3
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
new 2nd level
but
Three
I'm
times
happy,
as
CRT
many.
creatures. And
happy
Yeah.
for it to
You
be.
can now conjure animals as a warlock spell.
Okay. As in, do you want me to have that spell, or do you want me to be able to conjure him? If you know what I mean. Like, I'm happy for it to be tailored if that's what you want.
Technically speaking, you can't conjure him if you. Well, actually, you.
No, it's
you
just
can
what I
conjure
wondered
him,
if that was what you were getting at. If you know
But
what I mean.
he will come as an animal. He won't come
yes.
as the Flamestalker. He'll come as an animal. Yeah.
Okay.
And even at base level, at 5th, 3 beasts of challenge rating 2 or lower. So you'll be bringing him back with friends.
Yep.
Right.
or you could have what is it?
Your
You
bear
can have
that you had.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have 6 CR1 creatures. So if you just want to like overwhelm something with like 6 bears, you can do that.
Yeah, you can literally throw 6 bears at somebody now.
Or you can
Yeah,
I
summon
can't find
24
the spell.
actual cats.
Or 24 actual cats.
Yeah. And just have them like scratch him to death. Like, go, my pretties.
Or, you know,
I can't
instead
find
of
the
a
spell.
puppy pile, you make a kitty pile and the enemy will melt by cute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you gained the spell that trapped Flamestalker. Flamestalker here in the first place.
Right. I
Glory.
can't find it
Well
on
done for
D&D
remembering
Beyond.
to
We'll
get
find
some,
it later.
Yeah.
I'll add it to your character sheet.
Yeah, I
for
can't
you.
figure it. I
I'll
can't
do
find
it.
it.
I'll sort it.
Okay.
Glory, do you think you can get some potions of water breathing for the three of you? Because, not to brag, it's not really a problem for me.
Oh, Yes, I do think that should be doable.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not a concern for me. I mean, I'll be all right. But yeah, you lot, I don't even think any of you can hold your breath that long.
What?
I admit, Farewell, I am not used to the sea for more than just traveling over it.
Ah, that will have. Hey, we've got the boat. We should definitely bring the boat with us. If
That's
what we're
the
saying
point.
is that it's gonna need water, we should definitely bring the boat. We can try the boat out. We've been wanting to do that for weeks.
I know.
Yes, the plan was to bring the boat. That's how we'll travel there. And then, since the boat is foldable, we can just take a portal back. I've already grabbed the Ostergold circle, so as long as I have enough space and some caulk, I can do it. Oh, Simon.
Chalk.
Chalk.
What?
Chalk.
At least she didn't
Oh.
say cork again.
Chalk.
Uh,
The ch that
Yeah.
fucks with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, Simon just showed off a
Ow.
pile
Oh.
of boat.
Yes.
This is when we need to be around a table.
I love my boats. Yeah, I love my boats. So it is 11:10, and
Yeah,
I'm going to
yes.
say that you guys are left now, having returned the cats to the Feywild. Now you're able to, and you are preparing for an expedition. You get joined at first by Garrick and Jacob, and we will start off with that next session, where basically there'll be a little bit of preamble, and then you guys can sail for adventure on the big blue wet thing. So
Yes.
if
For
everybody's
adventure on the big blue wet thing.
cabin fever, has everyone on board? Spaceship was sailing. That was it. It was turned into a floating psycho ward. It's my favourite line.
Yeah.
So it's late. I'm tired, and as much as I could happily go on for that hour, probably end up making less and less sense as I go along. So
Yes.
if you guys are good, we will leave that there, and we will start with your new naval adventure during
Yes.
episode 62.
Everybody pirate outfits, go.
Oh dear, I don't have time for that. I have a test on next week. 2 tests next week. Oh fuck.
I have a pirate hat. I'll get it out.
Yep, I need a pirate hat. It's just one of those things I need in life.
Yes.
Proper tricorn, you know. I need it. Anyway, good night, everybody. Take care of yourself. And
Night,
we will see you
night.
next week. Good night.
Bye.